2228. Tokyo Metro, Shibuya Station B3F, Danentashi Line platform. On the empty platform, it looked a little deserted and bleak, and he was hiding in the corner, and he hadn't come out of that memory.
On a sunny afternoon, the brothers had a picnic in the countryside. Itadori Yuji and Bad Shong had a barbecue together. Blood was smeared next to him, drooling, and he was drinking sake and looking at the three people in front of him.
Brother, I grilled a very delicious saori, come and try it. Itadori Yuji grilled a saori and invited to himself. Itadori Yuji. Itadori Yuji. Inflation slowly stood up. Itadori Yuji, who are you? What am I? I have to figure it out.
2336. On the former site of the Utagawa police station of the Shibuya police station, on a barren ruins, the fake Sha Yuji walked leisurely in the courtyard.
After all, Gojo Satoru was no match for the sealing power of the prison gate, and it could no longer affect the outside 10 minutes ago, so it was much easier for 62D to take it away. Leihu, Tuolong, Taoist, S and Crocodile, and Master Jujutsu are really capable. In Fake Summer Oil's prediction, Gojo Satoru's sealing plan would require sacrifices, but what it didn't expect was that the casualties would reach this level. None of the 4 superclass cursed spirits died, and the rest of the cursed users even fled to the death.
Now only Rhyme is left. Lord Sha Yu. Gojo Satoru has been sealed, and the prison gate has been closed, shall we not leave? Li Mei, who was half a body behind, asked. She didn't understand that the purpose this time was to seal Gojo Satoru, so after the plan is completed, what else needs to be left?
I still have some things to finish. Fake Sha Yuja laughed. I have a friend who I haven't seen for a long time, and I need to meet. Look, they have already come. Li Mei looked forward, and Lu Mei frowned slightly. Although the Jujutsu masters on the opposite side were mostly hanging, there were too many people, right? In the scene of the center-to-door confrontation, there are indeed a lot of people on the curse user side. Lin Feng led Itadori Yuji, Fushiguro Megumi, Kugisaki Nobara, Zenon Maki, Panda, Inumaki Toge, Zenon Naobi, Nanami Kento, Kusakabe Atsuya came over.
In addition to the Tokyo Institute, the Kyoto Institute who rushed over to support, Iori Utahime led Miwa Kasumi, Kamo Noritoshi, Nishimiya Momo, Zenon Mai, Toto Aoi to meet with the Tokyo Institute outside, and he joined together.
A total of 16 people walked over in a mighty manner, walking on a barren ground, quite a feeling of the Avengers. Mr. Lin Feng, long time no see. The fake Sha Yuja greeted with a harmless smile, except for Lin Feng. Everyone was startled when they saw the fake Sha Yuja. These people were also the ones who experienced the 100 Ghosts Night walking incident last year, and knew that Gojo Satoru had already killed him at that time, but now, seeing Sha Yuja, who is alive and well, everyone is a little at a loss. What happened? Is Sha Yuja resurrected, or is he not dead at all?
Compared with the blank faces of other people, Lin Feng's expression was light and calm. He also raised his hand, but instead of waving at the fake Sha Yuji, he touched the back of his head, smacked his lips and said,
Summer Oil is already in the past tense, and it will always stop at last year's Hyakki Night Walk. It's fine if you use other people's bodies, but you still have to spy on other people's memories and play other people's roles. If you like acting so much, what are you doing, curse? Wouldn't it be good to go to Akihabara Kospy? Fake Sha Yuja still had a hypocritical smile on his face. Mr. Lin Feng, I don't understand what you mean. Kamo Shanlun, Kamo Shanlun, Kamo Shanlun. Lin Feng called his name 3 times. Say important things 3 times. Do you understand Kamo Shanlun? Kamo. Constitutional theory. When the fake Sha Yuja's disguise was torn apart, everyone was in extreme shock. Nishimiya Momo. What's wrong? What's going on?
Iori Utahime said with a complex expression. Kamo constitutional theory, the stain of Kamo family, the worst jujutsu teacher in history. If Mr. Lin Feng is not mistaken, then the consciousness in Zhang Yuji's body is over 150 years old.
Kusakabe Atsuya nodded. This is indeed possible. Zenon is directly connected to the people. It will be the existence of Kamo's family that both people and gods hate. The smile on the fake Sha Yuja's face gradually disappeared and turned into an extremely cold expression. Kamo Shanlun is just one of the many names I have used. You can call it whatever you want. At this time, a figure quickly passed towards the fake Sha Yuja, which ended the expansion of the network suppressing cloud mode. Hi, bulky phase. Fake Sha Yu greeted with a half smile. Ah, it seems that you have discovered it too. Kamo Shanlun. Chu Shang lost his usual calm. Anger filled his chest and occupied his thoughts. How dare you? How dare you want me to kill Itadori? Kill my brother. In the mid-Edo period, folk myths and legends about catfish causing earthquakes arose among the people. People believed that whenever the big catfish living in the ground moved abnormally, it would trigger an earthquake. The fake Shah Yuja looked at the puffy figure flying towards him, and activated his magic ability. Under the cursed spirit operation, a catfish was summoned and fell straight to the ground. Catfish cursed spirit dives into the ground like water.
The next moment, a bottomless pit suddenly appeared on the ground under Zhang Zhang's feet. The deep pit appeared out of thin air, and the bottom of the pit could not be seen. Subconsciously, Zhang Zhang's body reacted to falling.
The next moment, the deep pit on the ground disappeared, and Baoshang knelt on the ground panting heavily, with cold sweat running down his face, as if he had fallen into the depths. Did you feel like you fell into an abyss just now? But in the eyes of others, you just fell on the ground suddenly.
The fake Shah Yuji didn't care at all about showing his cards in front of these people. Cursed spirit manipulation is strong because it has many routines, and it can drive multiple quasi-level 1 and above cursed spirits, even if the manipulations are open and honest.
Just release a new cursed spirit. Of course, you can also continue to attack and deny me this chance.
After the words fell, the 1,000-foot abyss under Baoshang's feet reappeared. In addition to the feeling of falling in his heart instantly, the black catfish whiskers also wrapped around his body.
After being wrapped around the body by the catfish's whiskers, the spell power was suppressed, and the bulge couldn't resist at all, so it was thrown high by the catfish's whiskers, and then pressed to the ground. Jujutsu manipulation by Lien, bleeding. The bulging body covered in injuries condensed the blood outside the body into a blood arrow, and shot it violently at the fake Shah Yuja. This time the fake Shah Yuja didn't move, but Li Mei who was on the side did, and the spell surged out, forming a barrier of ice, blocking the blood arrows. Get away from the trash. I'm already very upset, getting impatient. Go away. I'm the big brother. Affected by the spell, no matter how far apart they are, they can feel the changes that have taken place in Zhang's younger brothers. Death. That is the final and biggest mutation for living things. In just one thought, I strongly felt the blood in Itadori Yuji, that is to say, Yuji is also a younger brother connected by blood. That being the case, you must do your best to fulfill your duties as an older brother. Red scale leaping. Containment, crimson blood operation 100 concentration piercing blood. In the state of red scales jumping, the blood arrows of the swelling phase are faster than before, so fast that there is no chance of reaction. Pooh. Li Mei was pierced with one hand, blood spurted wildly, and then the blood arrow turned sharply and swept towards the fake Shah Yuja. Anger can improve a person's potential, but this improvement is limited, far from reaching the level of qualitative change. The fake Shah Yuja easily took over all the offensives from Zhang Shang. Don't push yourself too hard, are you tired already? So what? Shang Zhang's offensive continued unabated. Could this be a reason to see my brother in danger, but remain indifferent? When Zhang Shang and the fake Shah Yuja fought against each other, the 16 people on the other side experienced shocks in turn. First, the fake Shah Yuja was called out by the name of Kamo Shanlun, and then the appearance of Zhang Shang. From the curse side at the beginning, he jumped directly to the Jujutsu division camp seamlessly, and he kept saying that he was Itadori Yuji's brother. The most stabbed by rooming was Kamo Noritoshi. Kamo Shanlun has the same pronunciation as his own name, and then the sudden appearance of bulging also showed Kamo's red blood manipulation, which made people dizzy and exhausted. Panda. Itadori, let me ask, are you an outsider who has no blood relationship with him? It's not just an outsider. I almost died in his hands before. If teacher Lin Feng hadn't saved me, I would have confessed. Itadori Yuji responded, then looked at Lin Feng and said, Mr. Lin Feng, let's go. Take back Gojo-sensei. Itadori, let me tell you a secret. Lin Feng let Itadori Yuji listen to him, and told a beautiful lie that he had prepared long ago.
Itadori Yuji is a good boy who values love and righteousness. Since he set foot in the Jujutsu world, he has practiced very hard and made rapid progress. When performing exorcism tasks, he will put himself in the shoes of ordinary people.
This guy puts his companions very important and puts them first, the kind who would risk his life for his companions. In his heart, Lin Feng and Gojo Satoru are special. After Gojo Satoru is sealed, saving Gojo Satoru will become Itadori Yuji's obsession. This guy has a lot on his back. As a container of Ryomen Sukuna, he is not qualified to survive, and all his efforts are just to collect his fingers. After the fingers are collected, he will be executed. This is an extremely heavy load, and if you carry Gojo Satoru's obsession, then life will be too hard. As a teacher, Lin Feng does not want students to suffer so much. The best way is to bear this obsession by himself. Itadori, only 3 people know this secret. I, Wu and you, before Halloween. Wu Mei and I found out a series of actions by curse, and we have already made corresponding countermeasures in secret.
One of them is the assumption after enlightenment was sealed, so although the current situation is that cursed spirit seals enlightenment, in fact the whole thing is under the control of me and enlightenment. What you have to do now is to cooperate with me and don't be impulsive, follow orders.
As Lin Feng said, he patted Itadori Yuji's shoulder heavily, with an expression of entrusting the heavy burden.
Itadori Yuji was stunned. He digested the amount of information in his mind. Although he felt a little incomprehensible, he looked at teacher Lin Feng's eyes. That's okay. What teacher Lin Feng said is what he said.
After appeasing Itadori Yuji's emotions, Lin Feng was once again focused by the eyes of others. There is no way. Lin Feng is the strongest fighting force on our side. Under such circumstances, without Lin Feng's order, others cannot act rashly. Mr. Lin Feng, Gojo Satoru has been sealed now, let's take back the sealed item. And Jelly came to Lin Feng's side and whispered. Lin Feng gave a reassuring look. Utahime, I have mastered the overall situation, trust me, okay? After a few rounds of fighting between Baoshang and the fake Sha Yuja, Laimei intervened forcefully. As a servant of Ryomen Sukuna thousands of years ago, Laimei's strength has always been obvious. After all, how can it be so simple to be a servant of King of Curses? This is also the reason why the fake Sha Yuja didn't take action against Laimei. In the overall plan, the 4 super cursed spirits are not its allies at all, but just a group of pawns with insufficient brains. Every chess piece is useful, and it is for the completion of the grand plan. Once the chess piece completes what it should accomplish, it should withdraw from the stage of history. But Laimei is different. She is very special and powerful, and she is a partner worthy of cooperation. Frozen spell. Laimei's mantra condensed frost and appeared in the palm of her hand. Her red lips parted slightly, blowing the frost nagi.
As the frost was blown into the air, everything within the attack range in front of Laimei was frozen, and half of his body was frozen due to the inflated phase not being able to dodge in time.
The ice technique is a very rare technique. Once it is frozen by ice, if you act rashly, your body will be broken. Well, it's just this level of ice. Zhang Shang gritted his teeth and was about to urge the red scales to jump. Which level? Li Mei came to the face of Zhang Shang, and could turn it into ice balls with one finger. Click. On the nick of time. Itadori Yuji released the restriction of the lead weight of the cursed tool, and at a very strange speed, he flew up with a kick, directly smashing the frozen part of the swelling phase. Because the swelling phase uses the leaping red scales, the cold air in the body is expelled through the blood flow speed, which is just in line with the effect of the ice congealing spell. Thunder Moon slashing. Fushiguro Megumi jumped down from the back of the quail, and fell from the sky with a first-level thunderbolt. Crane Spirit Mantra. Resonance. Kugisaki Nobara also hammered the spirit nail that touched the soul. The 3-person team in the first grade started the team first, and the second grade did not show weakness. The panda switched to the gorilla core, and Julie slapped it down. Shaw. Inumaki Toge, who wanted to use the spell forcibly, was held back by Zenon Maki. I can't attack from a distance, so stay with me and do nothing. People from the Tokyo Institute went first, and the Kyoto Institute followed. Todo Aoi tore off his shirt and charged like a monster. Black Flash. Red blood manipulation. 3 consecutive blood piercing. Kamo Noritoshi opened his eyes, blood condensed into a sword. Zenon Mai poured magic power into the gun, and the bullets poured out. Nishimiya Momo and Miwa Kasumi, one uses Kama Yiwan and the other uses Shinyan Lu Drauto. In an instant, the overwhelming Jujutsu swept towards fake Sha Yuja and Laimei. Forget it. Let's freeze everything. Rhyme lost his patience. Ice condensation curse, straight waterfall.
Laimei pressed one hand on the ground, and the extreme cold frost spread out instantly, thawing the overwhelming offensive directly, and the extreme cold frost froze everything. After dissolving the offensive, it froze towards everyone without distinction.
At this time, Lin Feng finally made a move. The extremely cold frost that is enough to freeze everything, in Lin Feng's eyes, is equivalent to inserting a label to sell the first. Base. Binglunwen was unsheathed, the snow-white blade pierced the air, wrapped in ice-blue frost, the lotus came out fresh. Sit upright in the frosty sky, Hiranmaru. Vacuum ice blade. There is no special effect of the ice dragon, but a simple and unpretentious slash of ice blue frost into frost air, facing Lime's straight waterfall of indiscriminate ice. There are gaps in the ice, and a vacuum layer is formed in the gaps, and then a second sword slash erupts.
Boom, boom, boom. Lime's ice waterfall, which controlled everything, was disintegrated by Lin Feng with a single blow, and the aftermath of Frost Sword slash directly affected the fake and real Yuji and Lime, and the fake Sha Yuji quickly threw the catfish cursed spirit out.
Under the sword, the catfish cursed spirit was hacked to death. The fake Sha Yuji opened his squinted eyes, looked at Lin Feng, with a strange look in his eyes. Mr. Lin Feng, is this your fighting strength? No wonder Hua Yu, Taoist, and Tuo Lang all died at your hands. As soon as these words came out, Ou Ping was shocked again. Lin Feng cut 3 alone, such strength is too terrifying. So what if you have such combat power? Anyway, you can't be hacked to death with a single knife. It's not that Lin Feng is timid, he just sees the reality clearly. As the behind-the-scenes boss that runs through the world of Jujutsu, the frightening thing is not the strength, but the layout, especially after the layout gets Sha Yuji's body, the lack of strength is also filled. Cursed spirit manipulation is indeed a bug skill. Even if Lin Feng can kill all the summon specials, this kind of infinite matryoshka is meaningless. The timing is wrong. Fake Sha Yuji can release a large amount of cursed spirit to block the knife. Sneak.
That's why Lin Feng didn't start the fight directly after he brought people to the brain flower, because it was meaningless. In terms of results, no matter how many super cursed spirits died in the Shibuya incident, the loser was Jujutsu's master.
Sha Yu. Long time no see. Now answer the question I asked you earlier. What is your favorite type of woman? Without warning, a slim figure appeared on the battlefield. Juju Yoji appeared in the middle of the two parties, and blew a kiss to the fake Sha Yuji. Quickly answer. 99 Yuki. The fake Sha Yuji's expression became uncomfortable in an instant. If Lin Feng, who is a super slasher, is enough for him to have a headache, then adding a 99 Yuki now is really bad. After all, this woman is one of the 4 major Jujutsu masters officially recognized by the Jujutsu world. Her presence means that the ending of the incident will not be so peaceful. Juju Yoji blocked everyone behind and walked towards the fake Sha Yuji. Do you remember? The method we once planned to make cursed spirit completely disappear from this world. The conclusion is that no matter what means are used, it will lead to the next stage of human evolution. The future of mankind is to get rid of the spell. Lime's palm condensed an ice sword, ready to attack at any time. That's really rude. Juju Yuki glanced at Lime. I don't know that a dog who looks at the owner's face is not a good dog, little dog, it will get hurt. The fake Sha Yuji said with a cold face. Lime, you step back. 99 yogis, this statement is wrong. The future of mankind should be the optimization of mantra power.
Itadori Yuji turned to look at Lin Feng. Mr. Lin Feng, who is that woman? Why did she suddenly appear to talk to cursed spirit?
In Itadori Yuji's eyes, it is right to ask Mr. Lin Feng if you don't understand. 4 super jujutsu masters, 99 Yuki. Lin Feng said, she is not often in the country, and she comes and goes without a trace. She is a riddle. Hearing the riddler's explanation, the others couldn't help laughing. Kusakabe Atsuya calmly withdraws his knife, showing his true nature of fishing. It is so great that it is finally a superclass. If you have a superclass, you don't need to fight by yourself. I really want to go home. Todo Aoi looked at Juju Yuki with burning eyes. This woman was his enlightenment teacher when he was young. Perhaps feeling the fiery gaze of Todo Aoi, Yuki 99 turned around and said hello. Todo, are you okay? Hello everyone, let me catch up first. False Sha Yuji overturned Juju Yuji's statement and continued. You just said about getting rid of the plan. I thought you had already given up the idea when Zenon Shire died 12 years ago. I was talking to Sha Yuji just now, forget it, it doesn't matter, after all, I have returned to my original intention. 99 Yuji said heartily, and there is a loophole in the optimization plan you mentioned. Compared to Japan, overseas jujutsu masters and cursed spirits are extremely rare. As far as your optimization plan is concerned, the enchantment of Tianyuan should be indispensable.
This means that the energy of mantra will be completely monopolized. Needless to say, other countries, the countries in the Middle East will definitely not let it go. Living people are the source of energy.
As a result of using Tianyuan, Those who can optimize their mantra and become Jujutsu masters will only be limited to people in this country. It's not hard to imagine what kind of tragic events will be caused by this. It completely deviates from the ideal world I described in my heart. Ha ha ha. So what? The fake Shah Yuja shrugged indifferently. You and I have different goals. I never expected a world without cursed spirit, nor did I expect an idyllic peace. Ordinary people, Jujutsu masters, cursed spirit. These are all possibilities, called the possibility of human beings in the form of magic power. But these are not enough. The possibilities of human beings should be far more than this. It even tried to find the answer by itself, but how could that work? How could the product I created be beyond the scope of my possibility? At any time, the answer is the black light shining in the chaos. Do you understand? What I should create is the chaos out of my hands. 99 Yu Keaton felt bad, and quickly turned to Lin Feng and shouted. There is a cursed spirit called Taoist, which can restrict its soul. Where is that guy? I killed. Lin Feng said casually. I killed him not long after I came to Shibuya. What? 99 Yu Ji-Lu frowned. It seemed that the situation had slipped into an irreversible abyss. For this moment, I have planned for many years and made a lot of preparations. These preparations are beyond your imagination, so why do you stop me? Why did the entire Jujutsu world stop me? Even if I am alone, I am the master of this game. An inexplicable magic formula appeared in the hands of the fake Shah Yuja, that is, the inaction transformation of a real person.
Not far away, Lin Feng raised his eyebrows. In the original plot of Jujutsu, the disastrous real person was absorbed by the brain, but in reality, just after the Shibuya incident, Lin Feng killed the real person at the station in front of the Meiji Jingu shrine.
But even so, Brainflower can still use Wu-Wei transformation. It seems that the butterfly effect is also ensuing. Inaction to change. When the fake Shah Yuja technique was performed, a strange pattern appeared on the ground, glowing with rays of light, and then rose into the sky, summoning the same pattern in the night sky. Tianyuan's enchantment. Wrong. Remote activation of the spell. Jujuyoji found out that she was wrong. She couldn't control this guy at all. To be precise, she was also drawn into the game without a sound. 99 Yuki, maybe you want to come back to our side? Lin Feng shouted. Tisk. 99 Yuji came to Lin Feng, glanced at the scene, and learned something. Lin Feng, you look confident. Have you expected the current situation a long time ago, or are you still in danger? A way to break the game. Unexpectedly, there is no way. Lin Feng said honestly. This is the truth. The layout of the brainflower is likely to be more than 1,000 years old. How can it be broken if it is so huge? 99 Yuji gave Lin Feng a look. Then you still pretend to be a master? So, can't you still bicker with me? Lin Feng, I want to thank you. The fake Shah Yuja said, actually, when you fought against a real person, I already sensed it. The real person is not your opponent. He asked me for help before he died, but rather than saving it, it was his strong desire to live before it died that attracted me. So at that time, I used some small means to extract the spells of the real person before he disappeared completely. Although it is not as effective as directly absorbing the real person, it is not much worse. 99 Yuki. What did you do? I added a long-range inaction transformation to the two non-spell techniques I marked before. People like Itadori Yuji who absorbed cursed object into their bodies, and those who have spells but whose brain structure is not that of a magician, I have adjusted their brains to the shape of a jujutsu teacher. The former gained the strength of being a container and the latter gained the ability to perform spells. The fake Shah Yuja tied a knot while talking, and then straightened the knot. Just now, I have lifted all the seals of those cursed objects. When I marked them, some people fell into a coma because they couldn't bear my spell power. But they will wake up soon. From now on, they will kill each other in order to deepen their understanding of the magic power. Those are my hand-picked people and cursed objects. Think of them as 1,000 Itadori Yuji unleashed with malicious intent. After hearing the words, 99 Yuki's face was very ugly. 1,000. You are quite conservative. You underestimate the rationality of human beings. Do you really think that simply because of being endowed with power, people will kill each other? What international joke. Solving the problem by force without saying a word. This is not the era of ruthlessness and blood. Is it too small for human civilization? Everything has an order. The fake Shah Yuja said, how could I miss that level of preparation? Or are you saying that you have already asked questions but are no longer brains? 99 Yuki rolled up the sleeves that didn't exist. She was really angry. Lin Feng, let's beat it together. Lin Feng shook his head. I have a better way to deflate it. Kamo Shanlun or something. Forget it, I'll just call you a brain. After all, your body is a brain. I heard you talk a lot, but it doesn't need to be so troublesome. Just go straight, skip the foreshadowing, and start swimming in ashes.
As soon as these words came out, the fake Sha Yuji's expression froze in an instant, revealing a distorted expression that had never appeared before, and the whole person couldn't help shaking. Your grandma, why do you know that the dead fire returns to you? The fake Sha Yuji broke the defense. After preparing a grand plan for thousands of years, and putting all the chess pieces in their proper positions, they managed to get them out, and someone immediately broke them. If it were anyone, after spending so much effort, it was not me who declared to the world, not to mention how uncomfortable it was.
Dead fire back to swim. What is that? 99 Yuki asked curiously. Lin Feng pursed his lips. Ask you, please introduce me quickly. It has been 1,000 years, and Brainflower has not been so angry for a long time. It was so angry that it almost lost its mind. Lord Sha Yu, are you alright? Lime asked. The fake Sha Yuja had bruised veins on his forehead, but he suppressed his anger very quickly. I'm fine. The fake Sha Yuja took a deep breath, swallowed all his anger, and showed his proper demeanor, even though it looked unnatural. The cursed objects I send out are the final fate of the Jujutsu masters who have signed contracts with me since thousands of years ago, but the ones who have signed contracts with me are not limited to Jujutsu masters. Of course, those contracts were abandoned when I got this body. This is the world from now on. After the words fell, a strange black vortex appeared behind the fake Sha Yuja, and from the black vortex, a cursed spirit rushed out like a crucian carp crossing the river. The large number made the Jujutsu teachers on the spot feel like falling ice. Simply those cursed spirits soared into the sky and scattered in all directions. If they directly attacked the Jujutsu division, even the Super Jujutsu division might not be able to survive, and the others would be torn apart in an instant. Thousands of cursed spirits are still being released in the vortex. Before leaving, the fake Sha Yuja took out the prison gate to show off. Everyone, see you later. By the way, Lin Feng, I'm looking forward to your performance. Let's once again enter the peaceful and prosperous age of Jujutsu's heyday. The Shibuya incident ended in a way no one could have imagined. The whereabouts of Gojo Satoru, a special grade Jujutsu master, is unknown. Shibuya subway suffered a devastating disaster. Casualties and economic losses are a series of astronomical figures that dare not look at the second time. The 23rd district is almost completely destroyed, and the safety of all ministers and temporary agents including the chief cabinet secretary is unknown. The only ones that can be confirmed to be safe and sound are the villages and towns of Okutama Town, Ome City, Akiruno City, Hachioji City, part of Machida City, and the islands in Tokyo. According to the current situation, no matter how optimistic the estimate is, at least an evacuation plan must be formulated for more than 5 million citizens. Requisition all the love hotels, campsites, and even deserted villages in the surrounding cities, as long as they have the minimum public infrastructure. The barrier centered on the Imperial Palace that was reactivated during the Meiji period, and the barrier centered on the top of the Shisei Palace, which was a candidate for relocating the capital in Tokyo at the end of the Bakura, were forcibly expanded to the county. Political void. Literal political void. It's just. For now, right? The number of cursed spirits unleashed isn't less than 10 million. Are you going to set the entire Tokyo as an evacuation order area? The exchange rate of the yen will not stop plummeting. But it seems that this is good for export. When they are all dead, let's see how they lobby politicians and interfere in politics. Bringing the existence of cursed spirit to the public? Are you serious? Move the function of the Prime Minister's official residence to Osaka. If things go on like this, a large number of cursed spirits will appear all over the country. However, most of the Jujutsu masters are currently in charge of protecting refugees, and they can't get away at all. Then declare that cursed spirit will only be in Tokyo. You mean to use this to gather all the magic power leaked by ordinary people to Tokyo, and limit cursed spirit to only appear in Tokyo? The state machinery started to operate, and then the opinions in the general cabinet were extremely divided. Some advocate doing a good job in post-disaster reconstruction, some advocate stabilizing domestic fishing boats, some worry that other countries will take advantage of this opportunity to take action, and some are worried about the threat of a huge amount of cursed spirit. Each has its own position and considerations, but this matter is too big, so big that it equals the level of destroying the country, so that even the state machinery is lagging behind. Tokyo. In a dilapidated and desolate street, the cursed spirit eruption swept through the surrounding area, and the buildings and urban infrastructure were severely damaged as if they had experienced a war. The streets were deserted and the streetlights were dim, making it look like a doomsday scene. In an empty convenience store, a grimy primary school student was grabbing bento boxes on the floor. As a child, he had no concept of the cursed spirit disaster. Knowing that everyone disappeared in an instant, including his mother, who was hiding in a corner and was so hungry, he opened a box of lunch with a sense of guilt. Crash. The door of the convenience store was pushed open, and a cursed spirit without a lower body floated over, stuck out half of its head, looked at the elementary school student, and said quietly, "Come here, it's dangerous to come here with me. Come with me so you can take a hot bath." Herp. The primary school student wiped the rice grains from the corner of his mouth. "What about my mother? Your parents, sisters and brothers are all waiting for you over there, and your teacher is also there." Elementary school student. "I don't have a younger brother, and I don't like the teacher." Cursed spirit's expression was distorted, his eyeballs were rolled up, and he looked like he had been knocked down. The primary school student picked up a bottle of water from the shelf and walked over. "Hey, are you okay? Do you want some water?" Just as the elementary school student stepped out of the convenience store, the back foot cursed Lingbian turned into a huge, hideous fish, and opened its bloody mouth at the elementary school student. Base. On the nick of time. A figure descended from the sky, and the samurai sword in his hand pierced the top of the head of the strange fish cursed spirit, almost hitting the ground. "Sorry, did I scare you? You're not hurt?" Killing cursed spirit was very fast, and the aura changed even faster. Akatsu put the samurai sword back into its sheath, and said softly, "Who are you with? Is your father or mother?" "I have no idea." "That's it. Thank you for your hard work, good boy." Akatsu Jewish always maintained a warm smile as warm as the sun. At this time, cursed spirit, a strange fish with half-life left, appeared behind Akatsu Judah, intending to die with him. Crack, click. The strange fish cursed spirit still failed to touch Akatsu Judah, and was swallowed alive by a more powerful existence. "That's not good, Rika. It can't be overdone." The top confidential site of the Jujutsu world. Akatsu Judah went through multiple inspections and came to an extremely empty quiet room. There was no electric light in the quiet room, but candles were lit. Rows of burning candles gave off a faint fire, like fireflies in the darkness. "Thank you, Judah." A hoarse and vicissitudes of life sounded in the quiet room. Akatsu said with a Jewish look as usual, "Since you don't intend to reward me, don't come to these nonsense. Let's get straight to the point. Anyway, you also know that I will obey orders." The hoarse voice from the vicissitudes of life sounded again. "No matter how many cursed spirits are expelled, it will not prove anything. The important thing is to follow the instructions of the high level to better balance the entire Jujutsu world. This is what you, a super Jujutsu master, should do." Akatsu Yuta yawned, and said lightly, "My jet lag is not reversed yet, so please tell me if you have something to say." "Very good. As expected of the Jujutsu master trained in the Jujutsu world, you should be clear about Shibuya, so I won't go into details. Akatsu, you are going to kill Itadori Yuji. The current situation in Japan is all caused by Ryomen Sukuna's container. If it hadn't been for his appearance, the incident would not have come to this point. The high-level officials have already made a decision to execute Itadori Yuji's death sentence, and you are the prisoner." "Okay. I'll kill Itadori Yuji. As the so-called storm is about to come, all things will not come silently." A few days after the Shibuya incident, the Jujutsu community made a series of reports on the Shibuya incident, as well as related punishments. Jujutsu Director Department notice as follows. First, confirm the fact that Sha Yuja survived, and sentence him to death again. Second, identify Gojo Satoru as the co-principal culprit of the Shibuya incident, and permanently expel him from the Jujutsu world. In addition, all attempts to lift the seal will be regarded as the same crime. Third, Yae Masamichi was found guilty of abetting Gojo Satoru and Sha Yuja to cause the Shibuya incident and sentenced to death. 4. Making fun of Itadori Yuji's death sentence reprieve, and absolutely executing him immediately. 5. The Jujutsu division Akatsu Kakatsu was responsible for the execution of Itadori Yuji. In the basement, Itadori Yuji was holding a raging mantra, watching a movie while eating potato chips. Kugisaki Nobara came out from the side, and said angrily, "Itadori Yuji, when is it? Are you still in the mood to watch a movie?" Kagazaki, "I don't watch movies, I have nothing to do for the time being." Fuhei went to Zenon's house. Teacher Lin Feng also went out on business. Before going out, he told me not to show my face. "What's this called?" Kugisaki Nobara sat on the other side of the sofa, and could only swallow his displeasure. It's outrageous. Kugisaki Nobara thought that the loss of the Shibuya incident had already made her speechless, but unexpectedly, the speechless is still behind. All the top executives in the jujutsu industry went crazy and issued a notice that ordinary people in Gojo could not understand. Mr. Gojo Satoru is an accomplice of curse, and he will be expelled permanently. Anyone who wants to unseal him will be treated as the same crime. Principal Yi Masamichi sentenced to death. Itadori Yuji's execution is carried out immediately. Each notification was like losing one's mind. Kugisaki Nobara once thought that he was crazy, but after thinking about it, it was not him who was crazy, but the world. I really don't know what to say. Fortunately, we still have teacher Lin Feng. Kugisaki Nobara sighed. Itadori Yuji nodded and said, yes, we still have teacher Lin Feng. As long as Mr. Lin Feng is around, Mr. Gojo Satoru can always be rescued. I always believe so. You mean I don't believe it anymore? Dare not dare. Osaka, Zenon's house. The Zenon family is one of the big three sorcerer families in the jujutsu world. It has been inherited for more than 1,000 years. It has been operating in accordance with the family rules set by the head of the first Zenon family for thousands of years. It is an out-and-out traditional family. The solemn house does not have the slightest modern atmosphere, and the decoration style is in a simple style. Everything in the house is made of ancient wood, and the dark lines crisscross in it. The entire mansion exudes a faint fragrance, which is one of the traditions of the Zenon family for thousands of years. You should not be impetuous in the mansion family, so you can smell this concentrating fragrance anywhere in the house. Quaint, without the hustle and bustle of modern operations. In a way, it's as if the Zenon family has never experienced the changing times. In the hallway, a young man and a woman were walking. The young man's face was full of flying colors, and the woman was half a body behind. She wanted to say something several times, but she didn't know how to start it. If you have anything to say, hurry up and say it while I'm in a good mood, Zenon said without looking back. In the Zenon family, the division of status between people and people is very simple, divided into people and domestic servants. Those who have spells and mantras are the Zenon family members, and the rest are domestic servants. If it is not a good way to say it, it is home. Women are clearly in this category. After receiving Zenon Naoya's consent, the woman said, today is the day when the head of the family holds a family meeting, but because of the Shibuya incident, the head of the house is not in a good mood. You should pay attention. Hey, I thought you were going to mention Zenon Maki and Zenon Mai to me. Don't forget, they are the ones who experienced the Shibuya incident, but they are actually reminding me. Zenon Naozai smiled even more genuinely. But what you said is not bad. After all, the entire Zenon family, in terms of observing words and deeds, you are number 2, who can be number 1? Zenon Maki has a good face, but she has a bad personality. She doesn't know how to take care of a man's face. A woman like her who doesn't understand the rules of walking 3 steps behind a man. The Shibuya incident didn't suffer much injury, it's really hard. In this regard, Mai is much better. She has the same appearance and figure as Maki. Although she also likes to be brave, she knows from the bottom of her heart that she is always a woman. Listening to Zenon Naoya's flirtatious comment on her 2 daughters, the woman chose to remain silent. Such is the case with the good woman of the Zenon family. Walking through the long wooden corridor, the woman knelt and sat at the door, and Zenon Naoya walked into the house with slippers. Too late. Wearing a kendo robe, Zenon clasped his arms and fanned dissatisfiedly. What did you do? Beside Zenon Shan is Zenon Jinichi, who has a rough and violent aura all over his body. The scar on his forehead makes him look calm and majestic, and he doesn't know what is going on. My biological father started the family council, and you are still late for such a solemn matter. Zenon admonished directly. I'm sorry. Zenon apologized with his hands in his hands, but he didn't look apologetic at all. But it doesn't matter if I come or not. Even if the head of the Zenon family is elected, anyway, the next head of the Zenon family must be mine. My older brothers are all useless. Uncle, you, the younger brother, have always been inconspicuous, let alone your 2 daughters. As for Jinyi, Zenon Naoya paused for a moment. Your appearance is really too low. It would be great if I could change faces with Shire. The voice fell. A domineering punch rang out, and Zenon punched Zenon straight at him without any politeness. Both are special first-level jujutsu masters, and the strength of the 2 is comparable. Zenon Naoya dodged the fist with a light dodge. Just when the 2 were about to compete, a snow-white blade pressed across the middle of the 2. Zenon said straightforwardly. Dad held a family meeting. What's the point of using a knife and a gun? Wow. The wooden door of the inner room was pushed open, and an old man in a suit came out. All three are here. Master Zenon, the head of the Zenon family, has not healed from his injuries and has already laid down to rest. However, he has written down what he will say in this family meeting in detail. I will read it on my behalf. The old man in a suit knelt on the tatami and took out a pamphlet from his bag. Master Jabirin means that as long as Zenon Shan, Zenon Naoya, and Zenon Jinichi are present, everything will be fine. If the three of you have no objections, then I'll start reading. The old man in the suit cleared his throat, opened the booklet, and said in a straight voice, about Zenon Naoya inheriting the position of the 27th generation head of the Zenon family, including the cursed tool kept in the high-tech library in the Zenon family library. All property of Zenon will also be inherited by Naoya Zenon. It can only be used with the consent of one of Zenon Fan and Zenon. Shout. Zenon said bluntly and unhappily. Forget it, it doesn't matter. Does it mean that Dad doesn't want to take charge of Zenon's family after being injured? So you want to pass on the position of patriarch to me in advance? Then hurry up and announce. The old man in the suit pushed down his reading glasses. The above is the first content, and the second content is the matter mentioned in the first content above. It will be invalidated and the owner will be re-established. If, for some reason, Gojo Satoru dies or becomes incapacitated, we will fulfill the oath with Fushiguro Megumi and welcome Fushiguro Megumi back to Zenon's home. Make him the head of the Zenon family, and transfer all the property to him. Ah! Zenon Naoya was stunned on the spot, as if struck by lightning. From the soles of his feet to the strands of hair were numb and unconscious. The position of the patriarch of the Zenon family is as simple as a lesson to torture a woman with no eyesight. Unexpectedly it turned over? Fushir has been dead for 12 years, what kind of bullshit oath did he have with the Zenon family? And why does Fushiguro Megumi, a bastard, dare to get involved in the position of patriarch? How dare he? How dare? Faced with the change of the patriarch's succession, the slightly older Zenon fan is upset, but on the surface he is still wondering. He glanced at Zenon Naoya, and shook his head secretly. His will is weak and the city is unstable. Is Zenon's family really in decline? He can only let such a person be the head of the family. Thinking of this, Zenon couldn't help but think of his two daughters. What a family misfortune. Zenon has been a fan of Layla all his life. When he was young, he was also a first-class Jujutsu teacher in the Jujutsu world. He has not known how many cursed spirits, and has participated in the crusade of super-level virtual cursed spirits many times. It can be said that looking at big three sorcerer families and Zenon's family, they're all big characters. But such a person has stains that cannot be washed away. That is him. Zenon fan has two heavenly restriction useless daughters. The eldest daughter Zenon Maki is born without spells and magic powers. She is definitely a low-level useless person. The second daughter, Zenon Mai, has some weak magic power, so she is still a useless person. The two useless daughters are stains that cannot be washed away. No matter how hard Zenon fan tries, he can't wash away. This is fate. Fate is not fair. But even if it is an unfair fate, Zenon fan can only recognize it, so even if you find a taller person among the shorter ones, the only one who can be the head of the Zenon family is Zenon Naozai. I thought nothing would change, but the Shibuya incident has changed. Compared to Zenon's far-sightedness, Zenon doesn't feel too much, so why isn't Zenon a blemish to him? Finished? Then I will take my leave first. Zenon even dropped a word, turned and left. Zenon glanced at Zenon Naoya without saying anything, and walked directly to the door, glanced at the woman, and persuaded her. Yes. The woman lowered her head even lower. After a while, Zenon Naoya calmed down. His heart was like a volcano erupting. He wanted to roar. He really wanted to rush in and ask his father Zenon Naoya why, but he still held back. Sure enough, those two guys are worthless. They would rather hand over the position of patriarch to a bastard who doesn't know the details, than let me be the patriarch of the Zenon family. But it doesn't matter, the position of patriarch must be mine. After Zenon Naoya calmed down, he turned and left. In the corridor, the woman was 4 feet behind, for fear of causing discomfort. Zenon Naoya said indifferently, "Where is Fushiguro Megumi now? What are you doing?" "I don't know the details. But it should be with Itadori Yuji," the woman said. "Itadori Yuji, who is that?" "It's the Sukuna container that was sentenced to death." "Hey." Zenon Naoya made a certain decision. "Then tell the people above for me that Zenon Naoya will kill Sukuna's container." "Fushiguro Megumi, that bastard is with the Sukuna container, right? I'll kill them both together." Tokyo has become a magical place now. It is no longer normal for a few people to die when, where, and for what reason. As long as we get rid of him, everything after that will be a matter of course. That night, in the desolate urban area of Tokyo, somewhere on an overpass, 99 Yuji stood facing the wind, and when the night wind blew, his long hair was blown up, looking very sassy, and the waist swaying with a full grip made people think about it. Sorry, I hesitated at that time. I thought to myself that since the situation has developed to this point, it is better not to intervene and wait and see. Lin Feng, you should have noticed. I am not in the same camp as you. I'm just a puny beauty who wants to wipe out all the cursed spirits in the world. Lin Feng on the side smiled helplessly. 99 Yuki, you don't sleep at night, and you ask me to come out to blow the cold wind, just to say this? Of course not. Jujuyoji turned to look at Lin Feng, and the cursed spirit beside him also turned. I have a lot of questions to ask you. Then come alone. A year ago, you were a quasi-level 1 ordinary spell, and you almost hiccuped because of the Hyakki Night Walk incident. Now, a year later, in less than half a year, you have killed 3 special-level cursed spirits, and your efficiency is higher than that of a Jujutsu master. Still tall, did something change happen to you? I came to Shibuya earlier than when I appeared. I have a panoramic view of some of your actions. According to my judgment, you are not surprised that Gojo Satoru was sealed. What's in it? Your plan with Gojo. And Ryomen Sukuna's container is a ticking time bomb. Why did you protect him to this point? I don't know if it's because he's been abroad for too long, but 99 Yuki is getting hotter and unrestrained, leaning over while talking, showing aggression. Lin Feng. Your question really caught me off guard, and I was surprised at everything, so I didn't know how to answer it. 99 Yuji's question hits the nail on the head, and 3 questions can explain all the underpants. You can answer one by one, although I'm going to see Tianyuan, but I have a lot of time for you. 99 Yuki smiled. Tisk. This woman is really a fairy. Lin Feng thought to himself a goblin, and said slowly. There are indeed some changes in my body, but I can't say it, it's a secret. The thing about Shibuya can't be said to be no surprise at all. I just pretended it. Otherwise, I would panic in such a situation. Can I still bring someone to meet you? Besides, Wu and I have no plans. He was sealed, and I go unseal. As for Ryomen Sukuna's container, the child has a name, Itadori Yuji. In my eyes, he is not a container, but a positive child. He is my lovely student. Satoru and I are more protective, as you know. Jujuyoji smiled even more after hearing the words. It has changed, it has really changed a lot. It sounds like you have answered everything, but in fact there is nothing dry about it. There's no way, you're empty-handed, that's all I can tell you. Lin Feng laughed. Fine. 99 Yuki stretched his waist, and hummed in comfort. The whole of Tokyo is now a magical place, and Japan is also changing. If you want to go abroad, you can ask me. Go abroad, maybe, but not now. Lin Feng said ambiguously. There are still things to do. 99 Yuki looked at Lin Feng and said, although I don't know what you are going to do, I actually think you will succeed. It's amazing. Then thank you for your kind words. 99 Yuki left. Maybe it was to meet Tien Yuan, or maybe it was to report their own intelligence to the high-level Jujutsu community. But no matter which one it is, to Lin Feng, it doesn't matter. I've been eavesdropping for so long, it's time to come out. Lin Feng's voice resounded with the wind. In the dark, the bulge of the 5 chambers of the fetus appeared in the shape of the door. At the last moment of the Shibuya incident, Naohua released all the cursed spirits collected over the millennium. When released, the number of cursed spirits covered the sky, and some of them attacked Jujutsu's division. Lin Feng and Kuju Yuki made a move, and kept all the cursed spirits who wanted to stay in Shibuya forever. During this period, Itadori Yuji's cheap elder brother, Liu Shang, was also protected, otherwise, with his strength, he would be gnawed by cursed spirit in minutes. Liu Xing came out from the dark, with the dead fish face as usual. Yuji, is Yuji okay? Since the relationship with Itadori Yuji was clarified, Liu Shang has recognized Itadori Yuji as a blood relative, and there is a faint feeling of adding bad looks and blood to Itadori Yuji. If it weren't for the fear of Lin Feng, the bulging phase might not be away from Itadori Yuji. Itadori is pretty good, eats well and sleeps well. Lin Feng said. But you, Chushang, what is your position now? The expansion phase shook his head. I don't know. The 9 phases of the cursed embryo is a deformed existence bred by Kamo Shanlun. We have no hatred for humans, master Jujutsu, cursed spirit, and no emotional fluctuations. The only thing that can affect emotions is the 9 brothers. As long as it is what the brothers want, they will do it. There is a blood throbbing between Yuji and me, so he is my younger brother. Now all our brothers, Bad Face and Bloodstain, are dead, and the other brothers are still in the custody of the High Commissioner, so Yuji is currently my only brother, and I must not let my brother be in any danger. That's right. Lin Feng thought for a while, and then said, then why don't you come here as Itadori's kitchen? Zhang Shang was startled, thinking that he heard it wrong. Really? Is it really okay? Even before me? It doesn't matter. The world has changed now. The Jujutsu world is not pure, and this country is not pure, so why should we be pure? From the beginning to the end, Lin Feng didn't pay attention to the top executives of Jujutsu and the big 3 sorcerer families, all of which said that the layer of paper had not been pierced, and the Shibuya incident was in place to pierce the paper. The top executives in the Jujutsu world don't even want to criticize. First, they turned Gojo Satoru into a curse user and sentenced Yi Masamichi and Itadori Yuji to death. Those old miscellaneous hairs are still thinking about the Jiba power. Since they have the face to be the first grader, then Lin Feng has the face to be the 15th. Master Jujutsu? Stop scolding, I will become curse user on the spot. Basement. The place originally used for special training for Itadori Yuji has been turned into a temporary base camp by Lin Feng. After the Shibuya incident, everything changed. Tokyo is filled with a large number of cursed spirits, which has become a demonic realm. The vast majority of ordinary people have been evacuated to the surrounding safe areas, and the population remaining in Tokyo is very small. No matter what the high-level executives in the Jujutsu world can't do, it's the first place to add insult to injury. Without giving the slightest chance to breathe, the sledgehammer swung down. Lin Feng was straightforward, proving his choice with actions. He broke away from the Jujutsu high school and started a new career. As for whether the Jujutsu community defines himself as an accomplice of Gojo Satoru, it doesn't matter. Teacher Lin Feng, you are back. Opening the door and walking down the stairs to the basement, the voices of Itadori Yuji and Kugisaki Nobara sounded. The former greeted him from the living room, and then he saw Lin Feng behind him. Yuji, you're alright. Lu Shang looked at Itadori Yuji's lively appearance, and couldn't help but heave a sigh of relief. The announcement issued by the Jujutsu community, ahead of the death sentence of Itadori Yuji, also appointed a special Jujutsu master as the executioner. Don't think about it. Yuji Huken has no way to survive against the super Jujutsu master. I'm fine. Itadori Yuji nodded. Mr. Lin Feng, why did you bring this person back? Because the expansion is now a companion. Lin Feng said. Did you forget the few things announced by the upper echelon? Except for your execution, anyone and any action that wants to unblock Gojo Satoru will be sentenced to the same crime, to issue the identity of Jujutsu teacher. Now we can't even count as Jujutsu masters, so naturally we have to make some plans on our own. Itadori Yuji fell silent. Mr. Lin Feng, I have never been so afraid of my execution. Ryomen Sukuna has always been a ticking time bomb in my body. If it weren't for Mr. Lin Feng, you would have suppressed it every time. Ryomen Sukuna has long been using my body to run amok. The Shibuya incident has something to do with the Ryomen Sukuna in my body. Now that the Shibuya incident has killed so many people, if I have to find a reason and execute my death sentence, I will. Kunran accepted it. But why are they identifying Mr. Gojo Satoru as a traitor? Why are they? Kugisaki Nobara also came over. Hearing Itadori Yuji's words, he knocked on it with a shudder. Idiot. Anyone with a discerning eye knows that this is not your problem. The problem is the whole rotten Jujutsu world. Lin Feng smiled and said. Nagasaki sees it very clearly. The problem is the entire Jujutsu world, not you and me. Oh. Itadori Yuji's passionate speech collapsed throughout. Kugisaki Nobara seemed to have thought of something, and asked, Mr. Lin Feng, is it okay for Fu Hei to go to Zenon's house? I heard that the big 3 sorcerer families have been passed down for thousands of years, so I just figured it out. The bureau was set up by people directly adjacent to Zenon, so there won't be any problem. Lin Feng reassured. In the original plot of Jujutsu, after the Shibuya incident, more tragic events followed. The first one was the split of the Zen family. Since Zenon was directly next to him, the position of the head of the Zenon family was passed on to Fushiguro Megumi in his last words. Hands. As a result, Zenon Naoya's mentality exploded. This guy is bound to kill Fushiguro Megumi to grab the position, and at the same time, he also involved the 2 sisters Maki and Mai. But now, with Lin Feng here, all the unfavorable situations will not happen. Streets of Tokyo. Itadori Yuji is walking on the street. From time to time, there are cursed spirits rushing out from the side of the road, and they will be dealt with in twos and twos. Although strictly speaking, he is no longer a Jujutsu master, he has been doing cursed spirits all the time. Every night, Itadori Yuji will come out to exorcise the cursed spirit. Teacher Lin Feng said that this is also a kind of practice. The night wind howled. Itadori Yuji was walking on the street. Suddenly, several cursed spirits with strange shapes rushed out from the side, scrambling to chase him. It is no exaggeration to say that the cursed spirits that can be seen on the streets of Tokyo are better than the people who can see them need more. After devouring 15 fingers, Itadori has turned into a walking superclass cursed object. The breath on his body is fatal to cursed spirit. Every time Itadori Yuji goes to the street, it will attract a wave of cursed spirit to chase him. Jing Ting Fist. Itadori Yuji wrapped his fist with magic power, and smashed a cursed spirit that was rushing towards him in one fell swoop, and then turned around and ran under the bridge hole without any reluctance to fight. It was a frantic pursuit. There's also the new cursed spirit along the way. Brother Chushang. Itadori Yuji rushed under the bridge hole, yelling to shake people, and Lu Xiang, who had been waiting for a rabbit in the bridge hole, had been waiting for a long time. Yuji, let's see Big Brother. Red blood manipulation technique, by Lian. Bleeding. The swelling phase coagulates the blood into an arrow, and the blood arrow pierces out, piercing a large number of cursed spirits that rushed in, directly chilling the heart. Yuji. Brother swelling. Itadori Yuji and Baoshang clapped their hands, and then smiled at each other. The two of them are getting better and better. Mei can feel each other's state, and then make corresponding adjustments. As expected of my younger brother. Seeing Itadori Yuji's successful hunting heart, a smile appeared on the face of the bloated face. The younger brother has really grown a lot, and his abilities in all aspects have made great progress in a short period of time, which is very good. Hey, he's not here. I was the first to arrive? Suddenly, a strange male voice sounded. Itadori Yuji and Chi turned their heads, and saw a strange guy appearing on the bridge under the moonlight. Zenon Naoya looked down at Itadori Yuji and Takumo. Ryomen Sukuna's container, are you with Fushiguro Megumi? Tell me. Where is Fushiguro Megumi now? Who are you? Itadori Yuji looked at the raw face in surprise. And why are you looking for Fuhei? Zhang Shang doesn't understand this sudden situation, but no matter when, everything is based on the brother's position. I want Fushiguro Megumi dead. He got his hands on something that doesn't belong to him, but before I kill him, let him write something. As the voice fell, Zenon Naoya had already come between Itadori Yuji and Lu Xiang, too fast to react, but I don't want to see you jumping up and down and causing trouble. Do you want to break your leg? Zenon Naoya fought against Itadori Yuji and Guxiang. As the saying goes, 2 fists can't beat 4 hands, but Zenon Naoya really blocked the 4 hands with 2 fists, understatement blocking the 2 brothers' joint body-fitting skills. Swish. Itadori Yuji missed a heavy punch, and Zenon Naoya stepped aside. It's stronger than I expected. To be honest, I underestimated you all before. In the eyes of Zenon Naoya, the Sukuna container is okay, but the strength of the other guy is a bit unusual. Well, forget it. Do you want to speed up? Just when Zenon Naoya was about to let go of his hands and feet, suddenly, an extremely powerful crushing aura came crashing down, causing the 3 people below the bridge hole to look sideways. Is this kind of creepy deterrent power a special grade cursed spirit? Huh. So you're not alone. On the overpass, Akatsu's Jewish voice sounded suspicious. Who? Monk Itadori Yuji was puzzled, always feeling that everyone knows himself, but he doesn't know others. Inflation's gaze involuntarily came to Akatsu Judah, and his intuition told him that this person was extremely dangerous. Akatsu jumped from the overpass, and the force of the fall directly sunk the road. Who are you two? What's the relationship with Itadori Yuji? Sure enough, they are here to carry out the execution. Zenon Naoya raised his hand and interjected. Wait a minute. I told you to stand on the same side. Are you Akatsu? My name is Zenon Naoya. I am Maki's cousin. Like you, I was also arranged to kill Itadori Yuji. Don't worry. I won't hinder you, but if you kill him today, can I trouble you not to report his death for now? I want to use him as a bait to lure someone out. When Zenon Naoya talked to Akatsu Jewish, Takumo and Itadori Yuji also whispered, Yuji, be ready to run away at any time. The blonde is the speed type, and there must be some jujutsu. It's not wise to race him. I'll hold him back. You just need to think about how to stay away from that black-haired Akatsu. I think he is the same type as Gojo Satoru. If you fight, you will die. and meet in the basement. After making up his mind, Yuji Itadori and Yuji made moves at the same time, and Yuji directly attacked Zenon Naoya, trying to delay it, but Yuji Itadori ran away. In the vision of the two brothers, Akatsu Yuta and Zenon Naoya's goal is Itadori Yuji, so even if he loses to these two people, he can still survive. The moment Itadori Yuji ran away, Akatsu followed up like a ghost. His speed was not fast in a broad sense, but he obviously didn't think it was fast, but his speed had exceeded the general category. It's so fast, I'm afraid it's only so fast to lift my restrictions. Itadori Yuji was surprised by a person's speed for the first time. Such a pressured opponent. Behind Itadori Yuji, Akatsu Juta was also puzzled. It's faster than expected. I thought it would be solved at the beginning. Itadori Yuji was running ahead, looking at a small car in the middle of the road. He reached out and grabbed the side of the car and made a jumping action. The next moment, the blade moved towards the position just now. If it was a second slower, may have been beheaded. Huh. Not only is it fast, but is it also so dexterous? Akatsu Yuta's expression changed as soon as he missed the sword. He hadn't swung air power for a long time. By this time, Itadori Yuji had gone behind the car and smashed it towards Akatsu Ju. The moment Akatsu Ju was hit by the car, the magic power supported the car with a special endurance and bounced it away. No, that's okay. Aren't you startled? No wonder, I don't look like a strong person. In fact, I'm relatively weak in limbs. Akatsu Juish walked over with a single-handed knife, and the magic power gushing out of his body was like a substance. Generally. Itadori Yuji's cold sweat fell from his forehead. Even if he has no physical strength, the mana power is too outrageous, right? To make up for his own lack of strength by strengthening mana power, everyone does the same, but this person. Contrary to myself. Looks like you figured it out too. Akatsu said Jewishly, my mantra is more powerful than Mr. Gojo's. But the teacher has 6 eyes, and the mana power consumption of the spell is infinitely close to 0. In terms of actual performance, it is indeed the strongest teacher. When I run out of mana power, the teacher will never appear this kind of question. It's over. As soon as Akatsu's Jewish voice fell, the whole person entered a fighting state, and it was just like this that Itadori Yuji felt what a real special Jujutsu division was. No way. Itadori Yuji was horrified. He could barely see Akatsu's attack clearly, but he couldn't see the flow of the magic power, and he didn't know where the magic power hit. My close friend Todo Aoi said, the more first-class Jujutsu master, the more difficult it is to analyze the flow of his mantra, and the reason is different from his own. Because the more top-notch, the higher the accuracy of the spell operation, which means that there is no hit before the real move. W. Itadori Yuji's eyes were wide open. If Todo Aoi was there, he probably wouldn't be able to speak. This guy, from his whole body, including the knife in his hand, exudes rising magic power all the time. It's not a question of whether he can successfully predict his actions at all. Every attack he makes will become a fatal blow, and every bit of damage done to him will be suppressed to a minimum. Facing the super jujutsu teacher Akatsu Juta, Itadori, who could not escape, simply did not escape and entered a fighting state. Sorry, I still have unfinished business to do, so I can't die. Akatsu Yuta didn't speak anymore. The knife in his hand came faster than night breeze, and the blade wrapped in magic power approached all the vital points of Itadori Yuji, and Itadori Yuji also showed his fighting talent. The knife is so fast. Itadori Yuji narrowly escaped a few times, but his expression became more and more dignified. He could feel that Akatsu's Jewish knife was getting faster and faster. Got to get rid of this knife. Itadori Yuji knew that if he didn't do something, he might use a knife with his bare hands. As long as the body is strengthened with magic power, ordinary knives are not so scary. But in the face of Akatsu Jewish, you can't have this kind of thinking, otherwise you will be cut into pieces. Itadori Yuji dodged Akatsu's Jewish knife and ran from under the bridge to the top of the road, where there were many vehicles parked here and there, and he rushed towards an off-road vehicle. Passing through the off-road vehicle, he picked up the military dagger on the passenger seat. The military dagger was infused with mana, and then turned around to block Akatsu's blow. Akatsu Ju slowed down and glanced at the off-road vehicle next to him. It turned out that he took the knife from the vehicle. If before meeting Itadori Yuji, Akatsu only regarded him as mediocre, but now that he has met him, he has a little appreciation. Ordinary people were born with no spells and a little bit of magic power. With their strong physical fitness, physical skills trained in the later period, and extremely high fighting awareness, they were able to combine with Venue 1 and survive under their own hands for so long. Although I didn't take it too seriously, it was worthy of recognition. Itadori Yuji, you deserve to be mentioned by Mr. Gojo Satoru, you are really good. Of course, it is impossible for Akatsu Yuta to say this sentence, he just said it in his heart. Click. Akatsu slashed again with a knife, and Itadori Yuji met him with a military dagger. Under the knife cut, the military dagger was not enough to see at all, and it was shattered into broken blades with a single impact. You're too focused on my knife. Akatsu gestured with a knife in Ju's hand, and kicked Itadori Yuji flying with lightning speed. Even if the physical strength is not outstanding, the kick wrapped by the magic power should not be underestimated. Itadori Yuji retreated quickly, dodging the slash dangerously, stepped on the Akatsu Ju's blade on the ground with one foot, and kicked Akatsu Ju back with the other foot. Akatsu Juta looked at the blade in his hand, only half of it was left. Unexpectedly, it did not break when fighting with the dagger, but was broken by a foot instead. It seems that ordinary means still can't deal with you, Akatsu said leisurely in Jewish. The next moment, a big hand struck from behind Itadori Yuji, and locked Itadori Yuji's head in a strangling manner, with such force that he couldn't move. What are you doing? Li Zhang's voice sounded slowly. I'm just playing games with him, Sato. Akatsu walked towards Itadori Yuji step by step, then helped me hold on to him. That's when Akatsu Ju holds a half-bladed blade and is about to execute Itadori Yuji's execution. Hoo-hoo. A gust of night wind swept in. Akatsu's hand holding the knife trembled. He turned his head and saw a slender figure walking towards the corner of the street. Lin. Teacher Lin Feng. The person who came was naturally Lin Feng. Lin Feng walked over leisurely, and said softly, let go of Yuji the Tiger Village. Plain statement, calm speech. I won't say it a second time. Lin Feng walked step by step, and invisibly, an aura like an abyss spread out. Mr. Lin Feng. Akatsu said Jewishly. The high-level order is to lift Itadori Yuji's probation and execute the death sentence directly. A high-level order. This is not the only order. One of them is that anyone who tries to unlock the seal of Gojo Satoru will be sentenced to the same crime and permanently expelled from the Jujutsu world. The one in front of you is a curse user. As a super Jujutsu master, do you want to carry out the removal task? Teacher Lin Feng, Akatsu Yuta froze for a while, he didn't know how to explain. The execution of Itadori Yuji was an irreversible task given to him by the high level, but his original intention was not to kill Itadori Yuji. Yes. Akatsu's Jewish plan is very simple. First kill Itadori Yuji to complete the task, release the shackles of the task, and then use the reversal technique to revive him, and plan for the next step. From the beginning to the end, Akatsu Jewish did not take Lin Feng into consideration. Lin Feng narrowed his eyes slightly, he certainly knew what Akatsu Ju was thinking, and now he jumped out to stop Akatsu Ju just to say hello. As a curse user, how can you not say hello to the Jujutsu world? And if this greeting is based on the super Jujutsu teacher, it would be perfect. It's useless to talk too much. Akatsu Ju, you are an existing super Jujutsu teacher in the Jujutsu world, and I'm just a curse user. You don't need to treat me as a teacher. Lin Feng also untied the Zanpakuto Shengen from his waist. Akatsu's Jewish mood fell instantly. At this time, Satoka, who locked Itadori Yuji, quit, and turned around to attack Lin Feng. Li Xiang, don't speak out against teacher Lin Feng. For the first time, Akatsu stopped Li Xiang with a strong tone. Sorry, Li Xiang, I will explain to you later, but in short, you can't shoot teacher Lin Feng. Li Xiang had no choice but to swallow her anger back, and then disappeared into the air. Akatsu laughed Jewishly. Teacher Lin Feng, long time no see, just pretend I haven't been here today. After the words fell, Akatsu Jewish disappeared into the street. Lin Feng couldn't help but take a look at this move. Unexpectedly, the Jewish kid Akatsu is still very excited. It seems that overseas practice has a great effect. Teacher Lin Feng, there is another person who is fighting against the bulge. Itadori Yuji said hastily. The bulge is to buy time with me. Itadori, how is your health now? Lin Feng asked. Huh? No injuries. Then go beat someone with me. Under the bridge hole. The battle between Kuso and Zenon Naoya is still going on. To be precise, it is a crushing battle. Crack. Zenon Naoya slapped Bao Zhang's body with his palm, captured its motion, and recorded it as a 24 FPS picture, then punched it back to its original shape, and kicked it directly on the wall. So fast. I can't see what secrets are hidden in his spells at all. Now that they are suppressed, they won't take the initiative to reveal them in the future, right? Not to mention using Balian, even the blood operation in the body can't be performed. After much deliberation, Dang Xiangxi gave up the active attack of the red blood manipulation technique and turned to internal promotion, so as to hold Zenon Naoya back and buy time for his younger brother to escape. Zenon Naoya looked impatient and lost his patience. "You are so tenacious, what is going on with you?" The puffy face panted and said, "I am the elder brother, the eldest among the 10 brothers." Still didn't answer my question. What I asked was about your technique and your tenacious body. What's the matter? Zenon Naoya decided to try it himself, and immediately used the hysteresis speed of the dynamic refresh, and instantly approached the bulging claw. And the swelling phase also reacted instantly, and slapped Zenon Naoya with a palm. "Oh, so that's the case. Being able to keep up with my movements is because the jumping of the red scales is concentrated on the extraocular muscles, which improves the dynamic vision. However, it's still too naive. Being able to keep up with the action and being able to hit people are two different things. For example, it is one thing for Liu Shang to use the red scale jump to improve his dynamic vision and see the action clearly, but it is another thing not to be able to beat Zenon Naoya." Zenon Naoya charged up his fist and hit the belly of the swelling, sending him flying again. "Unfortunately, every time I make a move, I design it on the premise of being counterattacked." Peeved. There was a stabbing pain in the abdomen, and a stab wound appeared in the swollen abdomen, and blood gushed out. "I didn't want to do this, but you are too annoying, because you are entangled and can't rest, so I have to use a little trick." Zenon Naoya generously took out the dagger. "The words of righteousness and righteousness that will be cast aside by others. Anyway, you know the red blood technique, and hemostasis is naturally your best skill, but I want to see what you can do when you are distracted to stop the bleeding and fight me at the same time." Zenon Naoya shook off the blood on the dagger, sheathed the dagger, and put it in his arms, as if nothing had happened. "Don't tell others this. To be honest, I feel that as a jujutsu teacher, carrying a knife all day is simply inferior. But sometimes, you really can't win without it. There are quite a lot of people who have the same idea. Those of my older brothers are doing nothing all day long, and they are doing nothing. It's a good thing they still have the face to gossip and talk about it after memorizing. An older brother is not as good as a younger brother. There is no meaning in life. Hang yourself gone." Expansion phase. "It looks like you hate your brother?" Zenon Naoya. "It's really annoying. That can't be said for sure. It is because of those incompetent brothers that you are what you are today." "Huh?" Zenon straightened his face in an instant, as if he had eaten a fly, and was so disgusted. "Did you say something particularly disgusting just now?" My hairs stood on end. Zhang Shang straightened up, straightened his waist and said, "No matter whether he is a talent or not, the elder brother is always an example for the younger brothers. If the elder brother makes mistakes and goes astray, the younger brothers just need to avoid the same mistakes. The older brother followed Masamichi, the younger brothers just need to follow his example and follow suit. If the reason why you are so strong is actually because you have a weak brother, what would you do? You just asked me why I'm so stubborn, right? Then I'll tell you, because I'm the big brother, because I don't have a model to refer to, so I will misplace it again and again. Even so, I must always walk in front of my younger brothers, that's why I am so strong." A large amount of blood was already flowing from the feet of Zhang Shang, and he didn't stop the bleeding. Instead, he drained all the blood, like a spring of water, sweeping towards Zenon Naoya. What the hell? Why is he still alive with such an outrageous amount of bleeding? Zenon was stunned. He had never seen a person shed so much blood. What Zenon didn't know was that Zhuxiangtu is a hybrid of cursed spirit and human beings. He has a special physique that transforms mana into blood. As long as the mana is not exhausted, he will not die from blood loss. Wow. The blood rushed towards Zenon Naoya, forcing him to be pulled away, and he was blocked by the flood of blood, losing the target. Zenon Naoya's figure retreated violently, and at a certain moment, the tide of blood slowed down the speed of pursuit. The attack has become soft. It seems that because of this bleeding, you are at the end of your strength, right? However, before Zenon Naoya could be happy for a while, the swelling figure had already appeared beside him, kicked Zenon Naoya away, and threw the blood on his body. Zenon Naoya only felt a sense of heavy pressure on his body, and his legs were as heavy as lead. It was because the blood that had penetrated into the fabric fibers was coagulated. You already know what's going to happen next, right? The bulging phase condenses the blood outside the body. It's hard to say. Let's try it out. Zenon Naoya forcibly calmed down. Anyway, His technique is to rewrite the movements recorded in advance with a frame rate of 24 FPS. This level of restraint cannot hinder action at all. Sorry. I can't understand the feelings of a person like you who doesn't know how to cherish brotherhood. Red blood operation supernova. Supernova and blood piercing are two kinds of attack methods. Blood piercing is the coagulation of blood into arrows, which is unstoppable, while supernova is all the blood outside the body to explode and scatter. Boom. No matter how fast Zenin Naoya is, it doesn't matter how many 24 FPS Shuji is shooting, because the supernova exploded on him. Wow. Zenin Naoya fell to his knees, vomited blood, and vomited. What's going on? Is this poison? The red blood operation still has this effect. No. This is not the effect of a spell. That guy with the amount of blood is not human. Because of the flesh. Because non-human blood was mixed into my body rejected it. As the saying goes, one thought of heaven and one thought of hell. Zenin Naoya, who feels good about himself, never dreamed that he could overturn here. After the expansion phase released the supernova, the body also reached its limit and lay down on the ground weakly. There is no way for two people to leave here, nor can they kill each other. Da da da. Suddenly, there was a sound of footsteps. Zenin Naoya laughed wildly. Ha 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 ha. I won again. I won. Zenin Naoya. Akatsu Yuta has killed Itadori Yuji, he is back now, and you are the one who died. As the footsteps got faster and faster, Zenin Naoya laughed more wildly. Mr. Akatsu. That guy is badly injured, kill him soon. Akatsu. Zenin Naoya barely straightened his waist, and when he saw the person coming, his wild smile froze instantly. The people who came were not Akatsu Jewish, but Itadori Yuji and a strange man. Itadori. Yuji. Why? Why didn't you die? Why didn't Akatsu Jewish kill you? Zenin Naoya is stupid. Akatsu Juda is one of the 4 existing super Jujutsu masters in the Jujutsu world. He failed to kill Itadori Yuji? Big brother Puff. Itadori Yuji ignored Zenin Naoya who was screaming, and helped him up. Are you okay? Yuji, brother is fine. Seeing that Itadori Yuji was safe and sound, Paoshong felt relieved. Who are you? Zenin Naoya lay on the ground and barely raised his head, looked at Lin Feng in front of him, and said. During the Shibuya incident, only the head of the Zenin family, Zenin Naobi, participated in the war. The other special first-level Jujutsu divisions in the family were busy with their own affairs at that time, so they did not get involved in the incident. Zenin Naoya is a fine person. When the Shibuya incident broke out, he randomly found a cursed spirit investigation mission outside of Tokyo and left. It was not until the dust of the Shibuya incident settled that he returned to Zenin's house from outside. Therefore, Zenin Naoya's understanding of the Shibuya incident is limited to the version of the process between the high-level Jujutsu community and the big 3 sorcerer families, and the rest is completely unknown. Including Lin Feng who turned the tide. Me. Lin Feng said indifferently. I'm just an ordinary quasi-first-level Jujutsu teacher, but that was before. Now, according to the instructions issued by the Jujutsu World Supervisor, I should be a curse user, right, a curse user. Curse user. Zenin Naoya tasted the murderous intent from the plain words. This guy dismissed it, but his sense of crisis is still very keen. Almost instantly, Zenin Naoya confessed, I am Zenin Naoya from the big 3 sorcerer families Zenin family in the Jujutsu world, and I am also the next head of the Zenin family. It is not the wisest choice for you to kill me. The big 3 sorcerer families have a foundation that has been passed down for thousands of years. If I die, the entire Zenin family will come out, and you will be very distressed. Let's make a deal. You let me go. I will give you a sum of money, a lot of money. You can take this money and leave Japan, and spend your days abroad in style. Is it better than being a curse user? Peeved. Lin Feng couldn't help laughing and said, Zenin Naoya, you are so funny, it's obvious that you are like a mad dog, wanting to take action on my students, but now you want to buy me. Your brain is only your jelly beans big? Student. Itadori Yuji is your student. Fushiguro Megumi too. Zenin Naoya was startled, finished, and kicked to the iron plate. I am willing to give up the position of head of the Zenin family and stop competing with Fushiguro Megumi, please. Please let me go. Zenin Naoya begged for mercy in a low voice, without the arrogance of the past. The position of head of the Zenin family is not as important as his life. If Lin Feng didn't know the plot, he might be deceived by Zenin Naoya's appearance at this time, but he doesn't know that this guy is a buffoon. Seeing people talking nonsense, Watching people order dishes, they belong to the same type as real people, so distasteful that they don't want to watch for a second, just kill them directly. Zenon Naozai, what do you think should be done with a woman who has no spells or magic power? Lin Feng asked a question. After hearing the words, Zenon Jazai reflexively said, for a waist like that, if you have a good face, you can use it as a vase to cheer your mood. If you have an average face, bad temper, and can't see yourself clearly, it's good to stab to death with a knife. The moment this sentence came out of his mouth, Zenon Naoya regretted it, because he suddenly thought that Zenon Maki was also Lin Feng's student, and he blamed him for insulting those two useless women too easily, and he didn't keep his mouth shut during the day. The surrounding air pressure instantly dropped. It's a good idea to stab him to death. Zenon laughed dryly, and just about to echo Lin Feng's words, he felt a sharp pain in the back of his chest. The knife he carried around his waist pierced his back at some point. Peeved. Lin Feng also stabbed the second knife in Zenon Shinya's back. This guy opened his mouth to speak, but his words were covered by the rush of blood. Moments later, Zenon Naoya dies in exasperation. At this time, the swelling has recovered a little bit, and he can walk around. With the support of Itadori Yuji, he also stood up. Itadori, you go back first with the bulge, Lin Feng said. Teacher Lin Feng, what else are you doing? Clean up the battlefield. Lin Feng casually said, this guy is from the big three sorcerer family's Zenon family. If he dies here and doesn't deal with it, it will always be a hidden danger. Anyway, you go back first. Okay. After watching Itadori Yuji and Takashi leave, Lin Feng looked at Zenon Naoya's body again. Lin Feng's thoughts turned, and a small black vortex appeared out of nowhere beside him. The vortex had no suction force, and a purple python crawled out from the vortex, and swallowed Zenon Naoya's body with its mouth open. This is not cursed spirit, but the cursed snake that Lin Feng got from signing in. In the world of Naruto, all the scientific research technologies of the ninja scientist Daishimaru, the curse snake can guarantee the effect, and it is easy to create and implant the curse seal. Yes. The reason why Lin Feng stayed was to use Zenon Naoya to try the power of the curse snake, to see if he could extract Zenon Naoya's spells and spell power into a spell seal, and then arrange pressure for the heavy table. In the original plot of Jujutsu, Zenon Maki paid too much for gaining power. Putting it to death and rebirth, destroying and reshaping everything about him is equivalent to killing his past self and turning into a walking dead body. Again, Lin Feng protects the calf, and he is reluctant to let Zenon Maki go through such a thing. On the streets of Tokyo, somewhere in ruins, Lin Feng found a place sheltered from the wind and lit a fire. The light from the fire reflected his handsome face. Want to have dinner? Akatsu's Jewish voice sounded, and a nori rice ball was handed over. Sit wherever you want. Lin Feng took the rice ball and greeted him. Akatsu sat down next to him, under the light of the fire. His expression was somewhat joyful. It's great to see teacher Lin Feng again. How can you say that? I was called back urgently by the higher-ups. Akatsu Judas picked up a branch, broke it and threw it into the fire. I didn't even get jet-lagged when I got off the plane, so I was called over, and then I was asked to execute Yuji Humura. Death penalty. When Mr. Gojo Satoru went overseas to perform a mission, I met with him. He told me about Itadori Yuji, and some ideas about the future with Mr. Lin Feng, and made me mentally prepare. I didn't expect it to happen so suddenly. In front of outsiders, Akatsuju is a shy character. In front of Curse, Akatsuju is a cold-faced and ruthless god of pure love. Only in front of his own people, Akatsuju is his true character. My own people are limited to Lin Feng and Gojo Satoru. At the very beginning, when Gojo Satoru brought Akatsu Jujutsu back to Jujutsu High School, he first made friends with him. The one who opened his heart was Lin Feng. Akatsu looked at Lin Feng and said, Mr. Lin Feng, you stopped me just now. Do you have something to tell me? Almost forgot. Lin Feng ate the seaweed rice ball and said, I know your reason. Part of the reason for you to perform the task given by the higher-ups is that you are bound, and part of the reason is because of some matters that UWU told you. But what I want to say is that Satoru is too gentle. He obviously has the ability to reshuffle the entire Jujutsu world, but he used the most troublesome way. Akatsu nodded Jewish approval. Ms. Gojo Satoru is indeed gentle. When you were still overseas, I chatted with Wu and talked about my views on the reform of the Jujutsu world. The final result is that Wu is the medicine, and I am the scalpel, and then we will treat the terminally ill Jujutsu world together. Scalpel and medicine. Akatsu Jewish also ate kimbap. The last time I met Mr. Gojo Satoru, he told me in a vague way, if one day, things reach the stage of irreconcilability, then trust Lin Feng teacher is fine. In this case, let me tell teacher Lin Feng what teacher Gojo Satoru told me. In September, Mr. Gojo Satoru came to me on a special trip and entrusted Itadori Yuji to me, so I planned to put on a show. Compared to having someone else carry out Itadori Yuji's execution, I think it's better for me to intervene myself. The higher-ups are not fools. The price for the superintendent's department to recognize me as the executioner is to sign a contract to kill Itadori Yuji, so I have to kill Itadori Yuji once. Originally, my idea was to release water when killing Itadori Yuji, release the restraint, and then use the reversal technique to revive him, and then make another plan. It's just that teacher Lin Feng stepped in. Lin Feng said softly, "Your method is feasible to a certain extent, but there is a fatal loophole, that is, Itadori Yuji will not hide for long, and will enter the vision of Gao Kong in the Jujutsu world again. In that case, it is very likely that you will be held accountable. Those guys can do whatever they want, and they are good at torturing themselves. Since this is the case, the best way is to reveal the card." Lin Feng continued, "Anyone who unblocks Gojo Satoru and his actions will be sentenced to the same crime as curse user, so it's better to show it clearly. Akatsu, you don't have a time limit for executions, do you?" "No." Akatsu Yuta shook his head. "The bondage is limited to the fact that I must kill Itadori Yuji. As long as Itadori Yuji is not dead, then the bondage will always exist." It turned out to be like this. Lin Feng finished eating the rice ball in 2 bites. "That's right, Akatsu. Let's play the game of hunter and prey. From now on, you are responsible for the execution of Itadori Yuji, and you have been biting me tightly. Then treat this matter as a long-term task. On the surface, you are the Super Jujutsu division chasing after me. In secret, we can still eat rice balls together." "Ah. Is this really okay?" "No problem, corpse." Technically speaking, Akatsu was Jewish as a child. In fact, this is also the case. As one of the 4 existing Jujutsu masters in the Jujutsu world, his own strength and honorary title dilute everyone's concept of his age. Leaving aside his identity as a super Jujutsu teacher, Akatsu Juju is just a simple big boy next door. Of course, the big boy next door is only revealed in front of very few people. After an in-depth conversation with Lin Feng, Akatsu Juda was fooled into accepting the suggestion. The restraint given to him by the senior management of Jujutsu is to kill Itadori Yuji, but there is no time limit. It is foreseeable that Akatsu Juda is a sharp knife in the eyes of Jujutsu executives, where there is a need to cut the sharp knife. Killing Itadori Yuji is only one of the tasks, and after the incident, he will be sent to other places to perform tasks. Sadly, Akatsu Jewish doesn't even have a moment to feel sorry for the teacher. But now it's different. Hunter games can be a lot of fun. Jujutsu High-Level Confidential Office. Akatsu Judas went through layers of inspection, and when he walked into the quiet room, the flame of the candle flickered for a while, and the gaze of being stared at from all sides came again. 443. "It's Akatsu. Come here so late. Do you have good news to report? You killed Sukuna's container?" Akatsu shook his head Jewishly. "No, I didn't manage to kill him." "Oh. Can't kill him." The hoarse voice started to play. "Akatsu Ju, as a special Jujutsu teacher in the Jujutsu world, you can't kill a container of Ryomen Sukuna. Do you have any good reason?" "Yes." Akatsu said with burning eyes. "I don't know if you still remember Lin Feng?" "Lin Feng? Oh. I have dealt with a few super cursed spirits Jujutsu teacher, the traitor Gojo Satoru's class assistant, and the death row prisoner Yae Masamichi's student, so why don't you mention this person?" In the eyes of the top management, the position can be reversed at any time. Before the Shibuya incident, they intended to select Lin Feng as the 5th Special Jujutsu Division, but after the Shibuya incident, there is no such person. When I was about to kill Itadori Yuji, I was intercepted by Lin Feng. I lost. It may be because I fought several special grade cursed spirits abroad. I didn't repair it well. I received an order to go back to Japan, so I lost. Up. Akatsu's Jewish lies are very far-fetched, but the high-level people take this trick, and the people who can sit in the position are all smart and old-fashioned, and you can see through a person at a glance. They know a lot of people, such as Akatsu Ju. Akatsu Ju is a very good sharp knife. Pointing at the point of the sharp knife, all obstacles will be cleared away. A useful tool can do many things, but the only thing it can't do is lie. The hoarse voice groaned for a while, and said suspiciously, "Akatsu Juju, as you said, Lin Feng clarified the position of rebellion, betrayed the Jujutsu world, and prevented you from executing Itadori Yuji, so what will you do?" Akatsu pulled out half of the samurai sword, saw the broken blade, and the atmosphere in the quiet room became quieter. Ryomen Sukuna's container is a time bomb. If you don't kill him, it will cause more troublesome incidents. Also, Lin Feng defies the Jujutsu world with a bang, so I will get rid of him. Ha 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 ha, as expected of a premium Jujutsu teacher Akatsu Jewish. The hoarse voice laughed wildly, laughing again and again. The candle flame jumped up. Okay, very good. Then do what you want. Continue to execute Itadori Yuji, and pull out curse user Lin Feng by the way. Wait until complete these 2 tasks and you will come back. Time passed day by day. Just when everyone felt that everything was about to calm down and everything was back on track, Kamo Shanlun carefully prepared a game where people who had been awarded Jujutsu fought against each other. Death and Death Return Tour. Here we come. The rules of Death Tour are as follows. 1. The swimmer must take an oath to go to any barrier within 19 days to participate in the Death Tour after the awakening of the spell. 2. If the previous regulation is violated, the swimmer will be deprived of the technique. 3. A non-swimmer transforms into a swimmer at the moment of intrusion into the barrier, and is deemed to have taken an oath to participate in death recovery. 4. Swimmers get game points by ending the lives of other swimmers. 5. Game points refer to the value set by the game manager for each swimmer's life. In principle, Jujutsu masters are 5 points, and non-jutsu masters are 1 point. 6. Swimmers can consume 100 game points other than their own points to obtain the right to negotiate with the game manager and add a rule to the death game. 7. The game manager must agree to the addition of rules, unless the project rules will seriously affect the long-term operation of Deadfire Weiyu. 8. If there is no change in the points within 19 days after participating or obtaining the points, the swimmer's spell will be deprived. Inside base camp. Lin Feng was leisurely watching TV. Itadori Yuji, Kugisaki Nobara, Fushiguro Megumi, Zenin Maki, Panda, Inumaki Toge and others all looked sad. The emergence of the Death and Death Tour and the related rules have made everyone breathless. Now Gojo Satoru is still in a sealed state, and the enemy has made a comeback, causing a crisis that is worse than the Shibuya incident. Fushiguro Megumi looked at Lin Feng. Mr. Lin Feng, Sumiki was involved in this death tour. Please, Teacher Lin Feng, I need your help. Itadori Yuji echoed. Mr. Lin Feng, let's go to participate in this death tour together, save Fu Hei's sister, and save more people. Although Kugisaki Nobara arrived late, he knocked on Itadori Yuji's head unceremoniously. Idiot, such a big matter as death and reunion requires a long-term plan. You think you can make a decision with a slap on the head like you? Here I don't want to be bloody over there, hey. Panda. Things got tricky all of a sudden. Inumaki Toge. Salmon. Zenin Maki. I agree with Nagasaki's statement that the return of death and death is more terrifying than what happened in Shibuya, and it requires long-term planning. The next moment, all eyes were on Lin Feng. Lin Feng said slowly, be safe and don't be impatient. You have to participate in the Deadfire Return Tour, but you have to do enough preparations. First of all, we have to go back to Jujutsu High School, meet with Tien Yuan, the method of unblocking the prison door servant, the specific purpose of Kamo Jianlin and his future attitude. Death and Return is an unprecedented Jujutsu terrorist operation. The answer to the above 2 questions is a prerequisite for reversing the current chaotic situation. You have to ask Tien Yuan to know. Itadori Yuji raised his hand and asked, Mr. Lin Feng, doesn't that mysterious Miss 99 know the answer? That's what she suggested. Panda. It is said that the enchantment where Master Tianyuan hides is very obscure and difficult to find. Among the 1,000 doors that are constantly changing positions, only one door can lead to the Xingxing Palace where Master Tianyuan is. Itadori Yuji said. That is to say, if you can't find that door, you can't see Lord Tianyuan? Children, you don't need to worry about these issues. Lin Feng clapped his hands and said, 99 Yuki has already lurked into Jujutsu High School, and she is a professional in this area. All you have to do is, take a good rest. Tomorrow, you have not yet done a good job in chicken-blooded wide-ranging skills. The next day, Tokyo Prefectural Jujutsu High School, in front of the 1,000 gates leading to Mengxing Palace. All together. When Lin Feng brought people to the dark room, Juju Yuji had been waiting for a long time, and he was in a good mood, because God was watching TV. Yo, Akatsu, I knew you would be involved. Yuki Kujuku turned around and waved to everyone. Hello, 99 Yuki. Akatsu said Jewishly, just how did you know that I would participate? Because I trust Lin Feng more. Lin Feng made a haha. Let's get down to business first, there's still plenty of time for small talk and reminiscence. On the way from the secret door to the Cao Xing Palace, there is a taboo library specially used by Jujutsu High Commissioner to keep cursed tool and cursed object. In the treasury of taboos, there are other signs of the 9 signs of the mantra, the signs of pus, bruises, phlegm, loose bones, and burnt bones. Although it's just a corpse, all 6 of them are there, and I can feel their positions in my heart due to the secondary effect of the expansion phase. Led by the expansion phase, you can find the right portal. Bao Shang said seriously. Leave the leading the way to me. Good. 99 Yuki has no opinion. A group of people opened the portal, and what they saw was an extremely high place. Looking down, they could see the twisted forest growing soaring into the sky. Under the leadership of the expansion phase, everyone took the elevator to the bottom of the Xingxing Palace. The Xingxing Palace is a large group of palaces hidden in the barrier, passing through a series of portals, and there are a lot of traces of blood on the ground in front of it. Itadori Yuji asked curiously, blood, did something happen here? 99 Yuji Kappo said, that happened 12 years ago, and now that I think about it, it may be the beginning of all disasters. Everyone, the main hall ahead is here. A group of people passed through the last door and came to a vast and pure white place. You are finally here, I have been waiting for you for a long time. First meet. An illusory voice sounded, and Tian Yuan, whose appearance obviously did not belong to the human category, appeared in front of everyone with his arms around his arms. Heir of the Zenin family, the blood of the Daojun family, the 9-phase map of the cursed fetus, the container of Sukuna, and Lin Feng. There is one thing to say, no matter how many times I look at Tian Yuan's appearance, he still looks like the underworld. 99 Yuki. Tian Yuan, why didn't you say hello to me? 99 Yuki, this is not the first time you and I have met. Tian Yuan said in a very familiar tone. Forget it. Let's get straight to the point. Juju Yuji asked immediately. Why closed Cao Xinggong? Because I was wary of any collusion between you and Luo Suo. After all, even I can't read people's hearts, Tian Yuan said. Stealing? Well, the former Kamo Shanlun is now the master Jujutsu residing in Sha Yuja's body. 99 Yuji sneered and said, is it Guanxian Bodhisattva who rescued and guided all living beings with the Luosuo of compassion? It's too ironic. Itadori Yuji always focused on strange things, for example, he directly asked Tianyuan a question, Master Tianyuan, why do you look like this? Tian Yuan laughed and said, although I am immortal, I am not immortal. When you live to be 500 years old, you will also look like this. Because I failed to assimilate with the astral body 11 years ago, my aging was accelerated, causing myself as an individual to disappear, and finally merged with this world. After Itadori Yuji asked, Fushiguro Megumi also raised his hand and asked, sorry, excuse me, why did we come to know the purpose of stealing and the method of unblocking the prison door? Can you please tell me information you know? Tian Yuan stretched out a finger and said word by word. Of course I really want to tell you, but I have one condition. 9 phases of the cursed embryo, 99 Yuki, Akatsu Juda, 2 of you 3 must stay here and serve as my guards. Guard. Aren't you immortal? Are you afraid that you will be stolen and sealed? It's not fair. 99 Yuki interrupted. Aren't you willing to tell us the time limit and reason for the escort? Tian Yuan thought for a while, then sighed and said, then let's talk about Luo Suoba first. His proposal is to force people all over Japan to carry out the evolution targeting specific human beings. Fushiguro Megumi. We already know this, so how will he implement it? Why didn't Raso use Master Tengen's enchantment to turn all Japanese into Jujutsu masters directly with Wu-Wei transformation? It's very simple, because his magic power is not enough to support him to do that. Tian Yuan explained. The magic power refined through the whirlpool cannot be returned to Master Jujutsu. If you want to use the magic formula to promote the evolution of human beings one by one, the efficiency is too low. The evolutionary method chosen by Raso is to promote the assimilation of human beings and Tianyuan. The me in front of you now is actually not me. After my evolution, my soul is everywhere. The human beings who assimilate with me will even surpass the limit of Jujutsu, a human being, and exist in the world in a new form that exists but does not exist. Because I have the enchantment technique, I can still maintain my external form and rationality after evolution. But if there are humans who have completed the same evolution, and then even just one of them starts to run out of control, then the world will be over. Why? 99 Yuki Lu frowned. Because there is no individual boundary, malice will spread in an instant, and the filth of 100 million people will flood the world, and the world will reproduce the previous Shibuya tragedy. Itadori Yuji. Why would he do that? Who knows, I've already said this just now, I can't see through everyone's hearts. Zenon Maki asked. As long as you refuse to assimilate, Master Tianyuan? That's the problem. Tianyuan's voice became heavy. The me who has completed evolution is closer to cursed spirit than human beings in terms of composition. In other words, I can become the target of the cursed spirit operation. As soon as the words came out, everyone except Lin Feng felt their scalps go numb. The truth was really astonishing. Tianyuan continued. Considering Raso's strength as a Jujutsu division, I may be absorbed by him the moment contact occurs. That's why I hide my body in Cao Xing Palace and reject all external intervention. Akatsu thought thoughtfully. Then we need to add another guard? Good. Luo Suo is second only to me in enchantment masters. It is only a matter of time before the Xingxing Palace is discovered and breached. We have to prepare early. 99 Yuki. Why now? Prevent the assimilation with the astral body, let you evolve, absorb and manipulate you through the cursed spirit operation. It seems that Suso is also somewhat related to Ryomen Sukuna, which means that he has been a Jujutsu teacher for at least 1,000 years, but why did he choose this time? Tien Yuandao. The astral body, and 6 eyes, the above 3 are all connected according to the principle of cause and effect. Raso has been defeated by the 6 eyes magician twice in the past, and in the second time, Raso did it more thoroughly. Both the astral plasma body and 6 eyes were killed when they were born less than a full moon. But even so, 6 eyes in the astral body appeared on the day of assimilation. Since then, Raso is no longer obsessed with obliterating 6 eyes in the astral body, but changed his approach and started searching for the prisoner zombies in order to seal them. Because there can't be 2 6 eyes people in the world at the same time. However, 12 years ago, something unexpected happened, and that was Zenon Shear's intervention. Not only does he have the innate physique due to heavenly restriction, but he is also extremely special among them, without any magic power at all. The appearance of people who rely on the power of the curse to get rid of the causal cycle has broken our destiny. At the same time, there is also a boy with cursed spirit manipulation. Tien Yuan looked up at the sky. Inadvertently, all the elements except the prison gate were ready. 6 years ago, the prison gate also fell into Luo Suo's hands. Lin Feng yawned, and finally finished speaking, almost tired of listening. He brushed the sense of presence perfunctorily. Then why do you want to hold a tour of death and death? Practice before assimilation. Tien Yuan glanced at Lin Feng. He should plan to use this as a drill to start assimilating with me. However, in order to complete this ceremony, Raso himself must have been burdened with a considerable degree of restraint. Death and death swimming is a ceremony to send people in this country to the other shore through the spell and barrier of the swimmer, and the boundaries of people connected by the barrier. In short, the death and death tour has already started, and it cannot be closed or blocked. You can either leave Japan or participate in it. At the same time, there is also a double-edged sword setting. That is, Luo Suo can't become the game manager of the death tour in person, but relatively, it is not good for all of you, because even if you kill Raso, you can't end the death tour. Until all the swimmers die or all the swimmers die because they refuse to participate in the game of death and death will not end. The basic rule of Deadfire Return Tour is perpetuity. In the final analysis, it is an insurance set up to prevent the interruption of the ceremony. Akatsu Jewish said, in this case, there is only one way left, that is, we participate in the death tour and add a rule that can make Miss Sumiki and other players who have a negative attitude towards the game withdraw safely. Fushiguro Megumi. And it has to be done simultaneously with the unblocking of Gojo Satoru. If that person is there, he can take care of everything by himself. Tien Yuan doesn't care how the people in front of him choose to return to the dead fire, he only cares about his own safety, so which one of you stays here? I stayed. 99 Yuji in expansion phase said in unison. Akatsu is a powerful combat force, and it will be more effective in the game of death and death. Since Kamo Shanlun. Raso will come here to attack Tianyuan, then I will stay even more. Sending him to hell is the redemption of my brother. I still have something to talk to Tianyuan. Juju Yoji turned to look at Lin Feng. Lin Feng, is this arrangement okay? That's how it is. Lin Feng shrugged. Thank you, this is. Tien Yuan stretched out his hand and opened a black crack, and grabbed a black cube from the crack. The prison door compartment is an important tool for liberating Gojo Satoru. Before Rosso found it, the prison door was outside my barrier, probably overseas. I tried to suppress the aura of the front door by sealing the back door, but it was in vain. The prison door can't just be opened. The back door is also sealed with Gojo Satoru, and the authority to open the door is always in the hands of the owner of the front door, Rosso. All he can do is to pry the back door open. And if you want to pry open the back door, you must have the sky-defying Hoko that can forcibly cancel all spells, or the black rope that can make the effects of all spells disrupt and cancel each other out. However, Tien Ni Biao was sealed by Gojo Satoru overseas 12 years ago, and even the black rope that may have been destroyed was completely destroyed by him last year. The only way now is to find a 1,000-year-old Jujutsu master who claims to be an angel in the Death Tour. Her spell is to destroy all spells. Fushiguro Megumi. Do you know where that person is currently? In the barrier on the east side of Tokyo. The barrier of death and return refuses my intervention, so the information I can get is limited to this. Let's sort out the information we have so far. Tien Yuan clapped his hands and said, there are 10 barriers in the whole of Japan, and these 10 barriers are related to the 2 barriers that moved Japanese humans to the other side of the border, connected together. The move to the other shore sounds like a bluff, but it is actually a preparation for assimilation by inflicting curse on everyone in Japan. Perhaps Tien Yuan had never said so many words in one day, and after explaining it again, he gave everyone time to ask questions. Fushiguro Megumi. How long will the ceremony last? It depends on the progress of the Dead Fire's return tour. It should end within 2 months. Zenon Maki stroked his chin and said, it's 9 a.m. on November 9th, and the Jujutsu masters who are swimmers awakened around 2400 on October 31st, that is to say, before Fuhei's sister participated in the Dead Fire return swim %, there is still a buffer period of 10 days and 15 hours. After everyone discussed and analyzed, they began to analyze the entire Death and Death Tour. From Tien Yuan's narration, we can know that the game manager of the Death and Death Tour is the Shikigami, the golden bug, attached to every swimmer who participates in the game. Strictly speaking, Gold Bug can only be regarded as a window, that is, the Death and Death migration program itself. After all the information is detailed and explained, then it is their respective division of labor. 99 Yuji and Zhongshang are the guards of Tianyuan, and the rest are all involved in the return tour of the Dead Fire. After coming out of the Xingxing Palace, everyone separated. Akatsu Juda and Lin Feng expressed their thoughts, intending to act alone and do some intelligence gathering around the barrier in Tokyo. Lin Feng agreed. Among all the people at present, he and himself are indeed the highest combat power. If the highest combat power gathers together, it will be limited instead. Dispersion is the best way. Basement base camp. The panda knocked on the door of Lin Feng's room. Lin Feng, are you busy? Lin Feng in the room opened the door for Panda. You came just in time, I was going to tell you something. Ah, you go first. Lin Feng said. Teacher explained to you, right? Don't stop him from executing matter, just let nature take its course. In Jujutsu's original plot, Yae Masamichi's death was not caused by other people, but that he didn't find a way to live, so he went to die calmly. At the time of parting, the panda was around, but he didn't take any action to stop it, and there was something hidden in it. You found out. Panda scratched the back of his head. Masamichi did tell me that. That's it, but I don't want to go with it. Lin Feng said. There are twists and turns inside, what is right and what is wrong, it's not interesting. Let's keep it simple, whoever touches my teacher, I will send him to the ground. Panda. Lin Feng, your idea is very radical, but I like it very much. The reason why I can find you is just to chat with you. I have a hunch that Masamichi will die if we don't do something, but I don't want him to die. The panda is a curse skeleton. A curse skeleton made by Yae Masamichi himself. Unlike most curse skeletons, at the beginning of its birth, the panda has 3 cores in one body and has the same intelligence as human beings. Yae Masamichi regards it as her own, takes the panda to practice, and teaches the panda the principles of life, sometimes harsh words, sometimes gentle. It is no exaggeration to say that several students may not have received the same treatment as pandas. This is the bond between Yae Masamichi and the panda. After the Shibuya incident, when the Jujutsu World Superintendent Department issued several orders to sentence Masamichi Yae to death, the pandas, who were always optimistic, lost their minds. It doesn't know what to do, and has no idea how to help Masamichi. Lin Feng patted Panda on the shoulder. Panda, you are a smart person, I won't say more, I will just say one. Human death is neither that simple nor that complicated. If you don't have a deep concept of human death, you might as well imagine that the person you want to see, The person you want to see, the person you want to be with, instantly become the past. This is death. Panda tried to think for a moment. Never see Masamichi again. All is in the past. I don't want this. Then we hit it off. Let's take a walk together at night. Jujutsu Division Prison. Master Jujutsu is beyond the scope of ordinary people, and what he does is in a field that ordinary people cannot touch. On the contrary, if Master Jujutsu makes mistakes, the punishment does not follow the set of legal principles known to the world. Instead, there is a set of penalties for Jujutsu divisions. Once the Jujutsu master does something that endangers the Jujutsu world in the present world, it will violate the laws of the Jujutsu world, and the violation of the laws will be punished according to the penalty. Yae Masamichi is inseparable from the Shibuya incident. The principal culprit Sha Yuja and the accomplice Gojo Satoru are both his students, and he has an unshirkable responsibility for causing the tragedy in Shibuya. According to the relevant laws of the Jujutsu world, the death penalty is imposed. Prison. Cell. In the empty prison cell, the flames of the candles were lingering. Yae Masamichi was wearing handcuffs to suppress the spell, and sat quietly on the simple bed. There were water droplets dripping from the ceiling, like a countdown. Yae. What exactly is that thing? Other manipulations can also make artificial mantras act independently, but they can only consume the mantra given by Master Jujutsu as power. But that thing can self-replenish mana, and if you have the intention, building an army like that is a piece of cake for you. Outside the prison cell, Gakuganji Yoshinobu looked at Yae Masamichi calmly. Now that your life is coming to an end, why don't you tell me how to make this cursed skeleton, so that it can also benefit the Jujutsu world and cleanse your body? Masamichi Yi said calmly, Principal Gakuganji, this is the third time you have asked me this question today. Gakuganji Yoshinobu approached him abruptly, lowered his voice and said, Yae, if you fully reveal the method of making that cursed skeleton, the merits and demerits will be equal, and you will survive. As the principals of the Tokyo Institute and the Kyoto Institute, both of them manage their respective schools on the surface on weekdays, but they belong to the same institution that supplies jujutsu teachers to the jujutsu world, and the two people still have a lot of exchanges and cooperation under the surface. Although Gakuganji Yoshinobu has always believed that Masamichi sometimes does not handle things in the most rigorous way, but I have to say that after working together for so many years, the two people know each other very well. It may sound nonsense, but there is indeed a deep friendship between the two people. Gakuganji Yoshinobu is a remnant of the old era, and his ideas have been solidified. Any interests will be viewed from the perspective of the entire jujutsu community. Although he felt that Yae Masamichi's death sentence was a bit far-fetched, but when looking at it from the perspective of collective interests, he would choose to remain silent and stand on the side of interests. But that doesn't mean he doesn't regret it. Yae Masamichi smiled and said, as early as before, the senior management asked me insincerely. Counting this time, it is a total of 3 times. But the making of the curse skeleton is not a secret. Everyone does it. They all care that I made it a little bit special. That's all. Suddenly, the prison gate opened from the outside. To be precise, it was blasted open from the outside. The thick alloy gate was damaged by external force. It was beaten until it was deformed, and it hit the ground heavily to raise dust. In the night, the panda in gorilla mode is very domineering. Gakuganji Yoshinobu's pupils shrank sharply. Night-hungry Masamichi. How dare you order the conjurer to come to the prison? Panda. You're wrong. I didn't come to rob a prison. Pandas don't have the concept of robbing a prison. I was just coerced. The voice fell, and the figure of Lin Feng walked in. Principal Gakuganji, good evening. Please help me, I will rob the prison. Lin Feng. You are too presumptuous. Gakuganji Yoshinobu's stooped figure instantly straightened his back. Standing in front of the cell, he tore off his outer robe, revealing the trendy and fashionable rock clothing lined inside. He also held the cursed tool guitar horizontally in his hands. There is one thing to say, the setting of the old man Gakuganji is really grass. He is obviously an old-fashioned conservative who sticks to the rules, but possesses such a trendy technique ability, which is simply extremely fragmented. Collapse. There was a clear sound of sword chant, and the dazzling silver-white blade was also unsheathed, and the sharp gun was unsheathed, showing a sense of sharpness. Lin Feng, stop. At this time, Yae Masamichi in the cell said slowly, put the knife away, you don't need to do this step. Teacher. Do you remember what I told you back then? Lin Feng said. Of course I remember. Yae Masamichi stood up. It is precisely because I remember that I asked you to put the knife away. Don't you listen to the teacher? Okay. Put away the knife. Lin Feng put the sharp gun back into its sheath and watched Yae Masamichi's operation quietly. In the original Jujutsu plot, when the execution was executed, it was Yae Masamichi who gave up by himself, otherwise Gakuganji Yoshinobu would not be able to kill him. Gakuganji Yoshinobu turned his head to look at Yae Masamichi. Yae, are you going to be presumptuous? Principal Gakuganji, Lin Feng said something to me. Yae Masamichi, is not only the principal of Tokyo Prefectural Jujutsu High School, but also the teacher of him, Gojo Satoru and Shoko. The mantras I made also need me. If I give up something privately for my own sake, then I'm too selfish. Yae Masamichi came to the door of the cell, looked at the panda. Panda, have you brought my favorite thing? The panda touched his pocket and took out a pair of sunglasses. Yae Masamichi. Fine, that's all I need. Yae. You can't do this. You will not be forgiven for doing this, Gakuganji Yoshinobu said in a serious tone. Forgive? Yae Masamichi's tone became playful. Principal Gakuganji, you are wrong on this point. It's not that I won't be forgiven, but I chose to forgive. As you said before, the technology I have mastered can make an entire army, but I don't have it. Isn't this an excuse? VR. Yae Masamichi looked at Lin Feng again. Lin Feng, it's fine. What can I do? You can let me out. Didn't you come here to rob the prison? You don't open the iron gate and expect me to fly out like a ghost. Obviously it's the teacher. Forget it. Lin Feng raised his mouth, pulled out the sharp gun, and the blade extended out. With white light flashing, the warehouse door was cut open. From start to finish, Gakuganji Yoshinobu didn't stop even once. Because he is deeply aware that he is not Lin Feng's opponent, if Yae Masamichi does not stop Lin Feng, then he may be dead now, and even if it is the end of death, he Gakuganji Yoshinobu has to go. Yae Masamichi's statement saved his life in many ways. The panda released the gorilla mode, returned to its original state, trotted to Yae Masamichi, put the sunglasses on his face, and then slapped the bear's paw, and tore off the restraint on his wrist. Sunglasses are the body, and Yae Masamichi's aura is different. From the body to the soul, copy all the information, and then input that information into the core of the curse skeleton, but these are not enough. Put a core that hosts 3 compatible souls into the curse skeleton, so that the souls can interact with each other. Observe each other from time to time. In this way, the soul can settle down and start to germinate itself. After about 3 months of birth, it can start to replenish its own magic power. Why? Gakuganji Yoshinobu opened his mouth wide and said in puzzlement, why are you telling me this now? Take it as a gift from friends. Yae Masamichi said very coolly, Principal Gakuganji, I know that my executioner was not you in the first place. Reach the authority to execute my death sentence. You don't really want to kill me, but to show me a way out. I am very grateful that you think so, but from now on, you don't have to. I think there are 2 kinds of shackles on you, either to kill me, or to ask the secret of making the cursed skeleton. Now that I have solved your shackles, let's settle the matter. Gakuganji Yoshinobu. Yae Masamichi, do you want to get out of the Jujutsu world, out of the status of a Jujutsu teacher? Yae Masamichi said. From now on, I will participate in the Dead Fire Return Tour, and then go to unblock Gojo Satoru. To define it, please call me curse user Yi Let's Go Masamichi. Lin Feng, Yae Masamichi and Panda left the prison of Jujutsu Division. With the strength of the 3 of them, it was easy to avoid the prison guards. They walked out of the prison and walked along the winding mountain road. Suddenly, a burst of engine roar sounded from far to near. On the winding mountain road outside the Jujutsu prison, a roar of engines sounded from far to near, and the dense headlights pierced the night. After a while, a car stopped firmly in front of the 3 of them. Boarding. With the window rolled down, Ieri sat in the driver's seat, holding the steering wheel with one hand and holding a cigarette in the other, puffing and puffing. Shoko. All 3 were startled, not to mention Yae Masamichi and Panda. Even Lin Feng was also stunned, who would have thought that Ieri Pin would make such an appearance. In the original plot of Jujutsu, Yae Masamichi died in the hands of Gakuganji Yoshinobu with Masamichi as Masamichi, and the body was brought back to the cursed skeleton forest by the panda. But now, Lin Feng and the panda prison have pulled Yae Masamichi out. Some things have changed, and correspondingly, other changes will also be triggered. Shoko, haven't you quit smoking for a long time? Yae Masamichi frowned. He didn't like the smell of tobacco very much. Teacher, it's not that easy to quit smoking. It's more comfortable to light a cigarette when you're undecided. Don't worry, I will use the reversal technique to maintain my body. Mere nicotine can't hurt me, Ieri Shoko directly showed his cards. Pin. Are you sure you really want us to get in the car? The panda saw that the back seat of the car was so full of luggage that it was impossible to get on it alone. Ieri Shoko. Ah, I almost forgot about my luggage. Panda. Pin, you pack your luggage, do you want to move? Yes, moving. Ieri Shoko glanced at Lin Feng. I know you have a secret base, and teacher and I have a place in the past, right? Lin Feng nodded and said, there are a lot of vacant rooms, live here as you like. That's good. Ieri Shoko looked at the things stuffed in the back seat of the car. Strange, how much luggage do I have? Forget it. Panda, can I trouble you to walk back? Ieri Pin smiled awkwardly but politely. Panda. Basement base camp. When Yae Masamichi and Ieri Shoko walked down the stairs, they were also shocked by the panorama of the basement. This place is full of noses and eyes, and there is no shortage of daily necessities. It is also very clean, giving people a very special feeling. Principal Yi. Miss Shoko. Itadori Yuji came from the living room, saw someone coming back, said hello, and came to pick up the luggage in Ieri Shoko's hand. Itadori Yuji's voice was very loud. With this shout, Fushiguro Megumi and Kugisaki Nobara also came out. After saying hello, they also came to pick up the luggage in Ieri Shoko's hand.
Teacher Lin Feng. Principal Yae. Miss Shoko, please drink tea. Zenin Maki poured 3 cups of hot tea and handed them to the 3.
Yae Masamichi held the hot tea, blew on the hot air, and then took a sip. It's really great to come out of prison and have a cup of hot tea. Ieri Shoko took a sip of tea, looked at Lin Feng with a bit of resentment. Your place is really nice. Why didn't I hear you mention it before? Because you didn't ask. Lin Feng beckoned the two to sit down in the living room, and Zenin Maki came to Lin Feng's side and said, Teacher Lin Feng, I'm going to tidy the room for Principal Yae and Miss Shoko. Maki, are you going back to Zenin's house tomorrow? Lin Feng said. Zenin Maki hummed. Now that the next head of the Zenin family has been confirmed to be Wei, I told Wei that I might take the cursed tool from the Zenin family's forbidden library, so I have to go back. I'll accompany you tomorrow. Ah, doesn't Teacher Lin Feng still have a lot to do? It's okay, those things are not particularly important, and the same will be done later. Zenin Maki nodded in a daze, and when he turned to tidy up the room, the corners of his mouth couldn't help but jump up. There is nothing wrong with what Ieri Shoko said. This basement base camp was indeed well managed by Lin Feng. At first, it was only used as a place for Itadori Yuji to watch movies for training. Later, Lin Feng rented out the basement and its surroundings, and then came the time of the Shibuya incident. After the Shibuya incident, the whole of Tokyo has been reduced to a demonic realm, and it seems that the landlord has long since disappeared. Lin Feng made a small renovation on his own initiative, and the current basement can accommodate all the people of the college. After reading this, Lin Feng couldn't help laughing. It is normal for Jujutsu teachers to be understaffed, and the current situation is that this year's Tokyo Jujutsu High School has been hollowed out by Lin Feng. Up to the principal, Yae Masamichi, down to the students, all gathered together. And what is left to the senior executives of the Jujutsu world is just an empty shell high school that goes to the building alone. After more than an hour, the panda came back and looked at Ieri Shoko resentfully. Inumaki Toge came over and patted the panda, and the panda was very moved. Goju, it's because you know you love me. Wooden fish flower. Me? I'm fine, although I killed a few cursed spirits along the way back, I'm just tired from running. In the living room. The students had already returned to their respective rooms. Lin Feng, Yae Masamichi, and Ieri Shoko were eating supper while talking about their next plans. Teacher, we have already been to Cao Xing Palace yesterday, and we also met Master Tian Yuan. From Master Tian Yuan's mouth, we have a certain understanding of the enemy and the return of the dead fire. Lin Feng, blah, 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 blah. Yae Masamichi folded his hands together, resting his chin, and pondered for a while. Unexpectedly, it was a plan that had been laid out for thousands of years. It turns out that Wuhei Sha Yu carried these 4. The astral body 12 years ago changed the lives of Gojo Satoru, Sha Yuja, Lin Feng, and Ieri Shoko. As the teacher of everyone, how could Yae Masamichi not feel bitter? What Yae Masamichi didn't expect was that there was such a big hidden story behind what happened back then, and it's embarrassing to mention it now. Ieri said with a sigh of relief. According to the rules of the Death Tour, it seems that they want to strongly pull everyone in. Those who don't want to go in are always excluded. They either join or don't get involved. But you can't just watch. This Death and Death Return tour is really. The atmosphere was a little depressed for a while. Lin Feng stirred up the atmosphere and said, there must be a way for the car to reach the mountain. The soldiers came to cover the water and the earth. Fortunately, the situation is not completely desperate. In the Death Tour, there is a Jujutsu who is called an angel. Her ability is to invalidate the effects of all spells, and the sealing effect of the prison gate is also the same. As long as she is won over, Wu Jia can be sealed. Yae Masamichi nodded. Lin Feng, you're right, it's not complete despair. There is still a turning point. We just need to participate in this Dead Fire reunion. Find a chance to unseal Wu. Then, with you and Wu here, we'll be fine. Lin Feng blushed and said, Teacher, are you sure you're right? Wu and me? That's right. Although Satoru is the sealing combat power of 6 Eyes unlimited spells, you are not a simple character. Compared to Satoru, you are more capable of creating miracles. With your joint efforts, the Death and Death Tour will be terminated. It's rare to be praised by Yae Masamichi once. Lin Feng also accepts it as soon as he sees it. Teacher, what are your plans? Yae Masamichi pushed the sunglasses. Since I took over the post of the principal of Jujutsu High School, I have almost forgotten what it is like to fight. I may go back with the panda tomorrow to see the children. Yae Masamichi is not the only curse master in the Jujutsu world, nor is he the only one who can make curse bones, but looking at the Jujutsu world, only Yae Masamichi makes the strongest curse bones. The secret he masters is the creation of curse bones put love into the heart, and the curse becomes stronger because of love. Ieri Shoko. As a medical soldier, I don't seem to have anything to do except save people, so leave the wounded to me. That's good enough. At the same time, Osaka, Zenon's house. In the quiet room, Zenon Shan was meditating and practicing. His figure was completely integrated with the darkness, and even his breath became subtle. Wow. The sliding wooden door of the quiet room was pushed open, and a burly figure walked in. Zenon opened his closed eyes, and when he saw the person coming, he let go of his anger. Junyi, I told you many times, knock on the door when you come in. Zenon Jinichi. Something went wrong. An accident? Cursed spirit gathered in Osaka? The Zenon family's mansion is located in Osaka Prefecture, and it has to deal with the cursed spirit disaster in Osaka. For example, Tokyo is already a magic mirror, and it is not ruled out that cursed spirit will also appear in other places. After all, it is an eventful autumn. It's not that the cursed spirits are gathered, it's that Naoya is missing.
Naoya is missing. Zenon fan thought he heard it wrong. That guy is just doing nothing, he must be fooling around somewhere.
I went to all the places he usually haunts, but found nothing. Those people said that Naoya hadn't been here for a long time. No fooling around. Could it be the day of the family meeting? Zenon fanned something. One more thing. Zenon added. Maki sent a message to the family, saying that he will be back tomorrow. Come back. Why did she come back? What qualifications? Zenon felt sick when he heard that name. Why did she come back? Take the cursed tool from Zenon's library. Zenon pondered for a while, and came to an astonishing conclusion. Naoya disappeared, and that trash came back. Is there any connection between them? It's very possible that if Naoya hadn't fooled around, he should have gone to see Fushiguro Megumi on the day of the family meeting, and Fushiguro Megumi and her were companions. Quiet. The quiet room was already quiet, but after Zenon fanned it, the atmosphere became even quieter. Naoya may not only be missing, but dead. Zenon Jinichi's expression changed slightly. Naoya is a special first-class Jujutsu master. She doesn't have spell power and spells. How could she kill Naoya? Of course that trash can't kill Naoya, but it's not necessarily so if there are many people besieging him. Zenon Shan finished his meditation, stood up, and continued. Fushiguro Megumi inherited 10 shadow spells from Zenon's family, and his strength should not be underestimated. And they were with Ryomen Sukuna, and Hobuki Naoya was surrounded by spectators, so he died. Zenon fan has already imagined a big drama, and forcibly rationalized, what does father mean? It's not interesting. Zenon said, because Gojo Satoru died or lost his ability to act, he will keep the oath he made with Zenon, and his son Fushiguro Megumi will take over the Zenon family. In addition, since the family meeting that day, my father has already thanked guests with a half-closed door. Even if we want to see him, it depends on whether he wants to see us or not. I think it should be tacit approval. Shout. Zenon slapped his head furiously, but he still didn't dare to take his anger out on Zenon GP Sadu to blame that trash. That trash single-handedly caused the current situation. Zenon Fan quickly found an outlet to vent his emotions. After a while, he calmed down a little. Although my Lord Father's wishes cannot be disobeyed, I can't let that trash do anything wrong. She returned to Zenon's house and stepped on the wooden floor, which is a kind of slander and blasphemy to Zenon's house. Zenon fanned and said, "Will Fushiguro Megumi come tomorrow?" "Probably not." "That's good." Zenon's eyes flashed sharply. "I can't stop the Zenon family from being the next head, but I will never allow the trash to get involved in the Zenon family." The next day. It was sunny and sunny. Lin Feng and Zenon Maki came to Osaka from Tokyo. Compared with Tokyo, Osaka is obviously more angry. Although there are some influences, it is still much better than Tokyo in the demon realm. This scene is really rare. Lin Feng and Zenon Maki walked on the streets of Osaka. The streets were cleaned well, the shops were open normally, and the endless crowds could be seen in the streets and alleys. The Shibuya incident has the biggest impact on Tokyo, and the damage on Osaka is not so serious, and it is because Zenon's family is here. Zenon Maki said. The Jujutsu master of the Zenon family has an indicator to exorcise cursed spirit every year, so the Jujutsu master of the Zenon family will patrol the streets and alleys from time to time, so that the law and order can be guaranteed. The two strolled around Osaka for a while before heading to Zenon's house leisurely. Zenon home, synonymous with tradition and simplicity. Lin Feng and Zenon Maki came to Zenon's house and walked in unimpeded. Zenon's servants ignored Zenon Maki's return. Yes, as a direct member of Zenon's family, Zenon Maki didn't even get the respect of the family's servants. For the Zenon family, Zenon Maki is infinitely equal to the airman. The only difference between her and outsiders is that she will not be blocked from entering the door, that's all. "Maki, you shouldn't have come back." At the corner of the corridor, a woman in a kimono appeared in front of her. "Don't get me wrong, she didn't come out to meet Zenon Maki, but the dojo inside, and she couldn't enter without permission. Mother, I think I should come back. There is not much difference between mother and daughter with strangers." Zenon Maki had no expression on his face, but there was still a hint of disappointment in his heart. Sure enough, after such a long time, there was still no change. "Hello." The woman made a welcome ceremony to Lin Feng. The etiquette for men has been deeply rooted in her bone marrow. Lin Feng waved his hand. "Ma'am, don't worry too much, we are not guests after all." For Zenon Maki's mother, Lin Feng has no opinion. A poor woman who was oppressed by Zenon's family has long been numb to the stereotypes that have been passed down for thousands of years. Just a poor man. "Maki, your father is in the dojo. I know I can't stop you, but how I wish you could be obedient, even once. Don't be so ignorant, and don't make me feel so sorry for giving birth to you." Zenon Maki stopped in his footsteps. It was impossible not to care about what his biological mother said. Lin Feng raised his eyebrows. What he said was beyond his level. "Ma'am, I feel regretful not for Maki, but for you. This is already modern. Feudal superstitions are already a thing of the past, and you are still holding on to those 10 sets of obsession with looking at the sky. Women never need to live for men, nor do they need to live for the Zenon family. The Zenon family that you can't resist is sometimes extremely weak." After Lin Feng finished speaking, he patted Zenon Maki on the shoulder. "Maki, let's go in, it's okay, everything is up to me." "Thank you, teacher." Inside the dojo, Zenon Shan and Zenon Jinyi have been waiting for a long time. When the two outside the door walked in, they also took a glance, but their eyes were more focused on Lin Feng. "Who are you?" Zenon asked with a fan. "I'm Maki's teacher, you follow your procedure and don't worry about me." Lin Feng laughed. And if these two guys weren't acting like monsters, he would be happy to relax. "Father, I've come to get cursed tool from Curry." Zenon Maki cuts to the chase. "Trash. Don't you even understand the basic etiquette? Who allowed you to stand and talk to me?" "Kneel down." Zenon Maki trembled, and when she was at a loss, Lin Feng's voice sounded leisurely. "Maki, if standing is too tiring, let's talk while sitting." "Do you want to take care of Zenon's family affairs?" Zenon Fan said coldly. "This is my Zenon's family affairs, please go out." Lin Feng's calm expression changed slightly, and his aura gradually changed from harmless to humans and animals to deep. "Zenon Fan, for the sake of you being Maki's father, you still wear it for 3 points of thin noodles? Do you know that Zenon Zibi dare not shout like that in front of me? Why do you? Do you know that even if Zenon Zibi is here, he wouldn't dare to talk to me like that?" Lin Feng's words are not groundless. In the original plot of Jujutsu, during the Shibuya incident Tuolong encounter, Zenon Jipi was gnawed off by Tuolong's deadly army and lost an arm. Choral attack. The final end is to die of serious injuries and return to the West. But now, because of Lin Fang's active intervention, some people in the Shibuya Incident Jujutsu division were killed, but no one hiccuped, including him, Zenon, whose life was saved by Lin Feng. If Zenon Zibi was present, let alone order to evict guests, he would have to nod and bend over to pour tea. The atmosphere in the dojo instantly became tense. Zenon even moved, and his burly figure came to Lin Feng in a flash. With a big hand, he was about to hold Lin Feng down and throw him out of the dojo. Teacher Lin Feng. Zenon Maki exclaimed. Zenon Jinichi's speed was too fast for people to react. Maki, the teacher might be a little violent. Lin Feng showed a reassuring smile at Zenon Maki, and then the smile instantly changed to an indifferent look, and then he shot like lightning, and the first shot came first, blocking a certain fact of Zenon. While catching Zenon's fist with one palm, Lin Feng got up from his sitting position cross-legged on the ground, and took advantage of the momentum to sweep away with 3 sharp kicks. Boom. 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 All 3 kicks hit Zenon Jinichi's chest with force, and he was kicked back. In a blink of an eye, Zenon came back even faster, and flew back even faster. Bass. The clear sound of the sword sounded, and the dazzling silver-white blade stretched out, piercing directly into the floor of the dojo. The blade was less than 2 fingers wide from Zenon's pharynx. Stop. Stop. Zenon cried out as if waking up from a dream. Mr. Lin Feng, please let him go. Zenon Maki begged. Lin Feng, who ignored Zenon's fan's voice for a second, retracted the sharp gun in the next second. Maki, say what you want to say. Do what you want to do, and the rest is mine. Except for the Zenon family, the rest of the Zenon family can't even be counted as the shoulder family. If Zenon Maki wants to, Lin Feng can kill the entire Zenon family. Still the same sentence, protecting the calf is serious. Anyone who dares to hurt the lovely student will die all the way down to 9 Netherworld. Zenon Maki took a look at Lin Feng and felt warm in his heart. The sense of security is too strong. As long as Mr. Lin Feng is there, everything will be solved easily, which is great. I went back to Zenon's house for no other reason than to get the cursed tool in the taboo. Zenon Maki overcame the instinctive fear of his father, and said neither humble nor humble. I know you don't want to see me, but I don't want to see you either. Open the taboo. I'll leave after I take my things. The Zenon fan almost gnawed his teeth. He hates it. His teeth itch with hatred, wishing he could slash this unsightly trash in front of him, but he couldn't do it. Lin Fang's voice sounded. Zenon fan, if anyone in your Zenon family puts Maki and Maki together with waste, talk about it. I will send all of your Zenon family to hell. Zenon Naoya has made a lesson from the past, so you can take care of yourself. Lin Fang's beating wave after wave, he bullied Zenon's family to death by himself. There is no way. One of the big 3 sorcerer families is more and more crumbs, and the Zenon family is always talking about bloodlines and spells. That is to use absolute strength to slap your mouth hard, isn't it just to bring villains? Who wouldn't do it? Zenon fan. Zenon Naozai. A lesson from the past, did you kill Naozai? Kill it. Lin Feng said lightly, as if he had crushed an ant to death, it's just a special level of awful, if you kill it, you will kill it. Zenon fan and Zenon have even been connoted, the key is that they have not been able to refute. Because among the Jujutsu divisions, the special first-level Jujutsu division with high gold content is worthless in front of Lin Feng. After all, in the hands of Lin Feng, special grades are all to be tortured and killed. Special grades? Sorry, you can be beaten to death without a knife. A long time. Under Lin Fang's silent deterrence, Zenon fan and Zenon sighed deeply, then let go of their stubbornness, and led the way to Zenon's house. On the way to Jiku, the woman's expression was stupefied. This was the first scene she had seen in Zenon's house for decades. She was as proud as Zenon's fan, and she was also bent over by the pressure, not daring to do anything wrong. Soon, the Zenon family bogey arrived. After the taboo library was opened, Lin Feng did not follow Zenon Maki in. Zenon Maki. Mr. Lin Feng, don't you help me with my staff? No, Maki chose the best one. After watching Zenon Maki enter the taboo, Lin Feng's expression became indifferent again, and the cold aura made Zenon fan and Zenon Jinyi a little uncomfortable. Maki was here just now, and I was concerned about her feelings, so I didn't say some words. Let's talk about it right now. Zenon fan, your greatest achievement in this life is that you have 2 good daughters. If it wasn't for Maki, I would have killed you the first time you looked at me with that look gone. And Zenon Jinichi, you are as stupid as your son. You only know how to do things but don't know how to deal with people. Fuhei is your grandson. He inherits the position of head of the Zenin family, so it's fine if you don't help. However, is still helping a waste who is obviously incompetent but puts all the responsibility on his children. I think you have only Dushin in your mind. As soon as the words fell, Lin Feng waved his hand, and the cursed snake rushed out of the black vortex, spitting out a message. Zenin Fan's face changed instantly. He found himself suppressed by the breath of a snake, the fear that penetrated his soul. Could it be that this snake is a special grade cursed spirit? You. Didn't you say that I won't kill us? Zenin immediately panicked. Who said they were going to kill you? Lin Feng thought, and the cursed snake quickly left bite marks on Zenin's fan and Zenin's shoulder blade. You scum. Dealing with you makes me sick. Let's go straight. As long as you do something unfavorable to Maki and Mai in the future, then wait to bear the pain of the snake's venom. To deal with villains, you can't boil frogs in warm water, you have to fry them over high fire, and you have to add wooden bridges. In the original plot of Jujutsu, Zenin Maki went back to Zenin's house to get the cursed tool. As distasteful as Zenin's fan, he actually set up a dead end to kill his daughter. Then he faced the Asura field in the taboo library. His father had already tortured his sister to the point of death. There was no trace of human appearance on his father's face, only a cold murderous intent. The two sisters lost to their father, and when they were dying, they were dragged into the arena where Cursed Spirit was imprisoned by Zenin's house, in an attempt to let Cursed Spirit eat the two sisters. From beginning to end, the entire Zenin family acquiesced. Eventually, Mai sacrificed herself to complete Maki, and the second heaven and tyrant were born. To be honest, this kind of growth condition is not cruel enough to describe, but cruel. From beginning to end, from the inside to the outside, nothing is left, completely destroying and reshaping the whole person. If there is only one way for Zenin Maki to become stronger, then Lin Feng would rather that she has always been the positive 4th level Jujutsu division. Therefore, the Zenin family does not deserve to be forgiven, and it is Mo's greatest gift for such a person to let him breathe alive. Zenin Fan and Zenin's expressions were as ugly as they wanted at the moment. They already felt that something was wrong. The snake venom injected into the body after being bitten by the cursed snake had already started to swim away in the limbs and bones. Well, all of a sudden, Zenin Fan felt a pain in his heart, his body was overwhelmed, and a mouthful of blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. Zenin staggered a few times, feeling dizzy, his limbs were weak, and his lips were turning white. We know how to do it. Zenin's fan is weak, there is no other way, it's too late to say anything now. The snake venom is already so powerful just by swimming in the body. If the poison is released, it must be the real life that is worse than death. Life is worse than death, but it is more terrible than death. You are not so stupid that you can't be cured. Lin Feng said. Friendly reminder, don't try to detoxify, no matter if you use modern medicine, ancient methods of treatment, or the magician's reversal technique, don't try. The snake venom is active, and it remains active in your body. Once there is external intervention, it will be completely stimulated, and then it will really die. Zenin Shan and Zenin Zhen nodded repeatedly. Now it doesn't matter whether the snake venom is that poisonous or not, after all, no one would bet on their own lives. After a while, the door of the Jikuo opened. Zenin Maki walked out from the inside, looking in a good mood. She looked at Lin Feng, then at Zenin Fan and Zenin Jinji. I don't know if it's an illusion, but I always feel that their attitude has changed. Maki. What's the cursed tool you picked? Leaving Zenin's house swaggeringly, and on the way back to Tokyo and Osaka, Lin Feng asked casually. Zenin Maki raised his right arm, and a white joint was exposed from the cuff, special cursed tool, keel. When Zenin Maki pronounced the keel, there was a slight movement in the arm. Live? This is the first time Lin Feng has seen a conscious cursed tool. Zenin Maki said, it's hard to define whether it's alive or not. From a biological point of view, the keel is not biological. From a non-biological point of view, the keel also has changes close to living things. I don't know much about it. It's okay, take your time. Zenin Maki turned his head to look at the passing scenery outside the car window, and said, Mr. Lin Feng, when I was in the Forbidden Library, did you think they negotiated? Negotiated. Since you asked, there is no need to hide it. In the future, if you and Mai go back to Zenin's house, things like today will not happen again. After Fu Hei officially takes office, Zenin's house may become very different. Zenin Maki turned his head and looked directly at Lin Feng with beautiful eyes. Mr. Lin Feng, thank you for your company and care for me all the time. Because you are my student. Lin Feng said softly. Are you really a student? Of course, This sentence was from Zenon Maki's heart, and she didn't have the guts to say it directly in front of Lin Feng. Tokyo. Basement base camp. When Lin Feng and Zenon Maki returned to the basement, everyone else was there. Kugisaki Nobara greeted her. "Miss Maki, you look very good, is there anything good today?" "That's right." Lin Feng walked into the living room and turned around, but found that there was no sign of Fushiguro Megumi, so he couldn't help asking, "Where is Fuhei?" "He is in the room with Sumiji." Itadori Yuji leaned over and said, "In short, the air pressure is very low, and strangers don't get close." "Is it?" Lin Feng came to the door of Fushiguro Megumi's room. The door was ajar, and the room was full of therapeutic equipment. Sumiji lay peacefully on the bed, like a beautiful sleeping beauty. Fushiguro Megumi held Sumiki's hand on her forehead for a while, then put her hand back on the bed, stood up and turned her head to see Lin Feng standing outside the door. "Teacher Lin Feng? Fu-hei, did I bother you?" "Won't." Lin Feng and Fushiguro Megumi did not go to the living room, but went up to the ground from the second passage in the basement. When they came to the ground, there was a lot of space around them, and the wind blew in, making people sober and their thoughts scattered. "Fu-hei, the death tour will end, Luo Suo will die, Wu will get rid of the seal, and Jin Meiji will wake up," Lin Feng said slowly. Fushiguro Megumi was a little moved. He pondered for a moment. His eyes were full of firmness. "Yes, I believe so too." From this sentence, the growth of Fushiguro Megumi can be tasted. He chose to believe in Lin Feng and believe in Gojo Satoru when he encountered all the unfavorable situations before. But now, after so many things, he began to believe in himself and his companions. Saitama City. Inside the theater. The few spectators in the audience seats yawned and fell asleep. On the stage, a comedian is performing hard, but no matter what he does, the people in the audience below are also expressionless. "Sorry, this is the end of today's performance." Helpless, the comedian could only bow and apologize. This is not the first time this has happened. It has happened every game for several days. It is really unsolvable. "Gao Yu. How long are you going to talk about that kind of joke that is not funny at all? Please stop talking about it. Even us in the background are depressed by you." "Sorry." Gao Yu bowed his head and apologized. In the backstage lounge, performers belonging to the same theater are berating Gao Yu. "How old are you today?" 35 years old. "Since this is the case, I advise you not to do this industry. There are indeed many late bloomers in this industry. I don't know why they suddenly became popular. But it's not that the crosstalk that those people said suddenly became interesting, but that it was already very interesting, but it was buried. Your situation is different, isn't it? Tokyo has become like that, so I won't say anything ugly. I advise you to find another job and find a job that suits you." After the colleague vented, he left the backstage lounge without looking back, and there were only 2 people left in the lounge. "I actually don't dislike your jokes," a middle-aged man reading a newspaper said slowly. Brother Jian. Brother Jian put down the newspaper and said, "But he and you both got it wrong. Even if the crosstalk is not very good, the guy who should be popular will still be popular." "Do you mean the kind of person who will only be popular for a while?" "No, there are 2 types of people who can continue to be popular. One is the person who can always make crosstalk very interesting, and the other is the person who can always mistakenly think that he is very interesting. Which one are you?" "Woolen cloth." Takagi's face was full of confusion. His hands were uneasily put together, and he rubbed his palms. Although it is said that each is divided into 10 and 50, it is actually divided into 30 and 70%. Hokkaido. Deadfire Returns is the only area where no barriers have been established. A total of 10 enchantments run through the whole territory throughout the day, and the northernmost Hokkaido is indeed separated out. There is no other reason. Hokkaido is located in the northernmost part of Japan. Although it occupies 1/5 of the country's land area, due to its unique geographical conditions, it is a dead and quiet place with a large area and few people. Except for the fishermen who have lived there for generations, or the fishermen who rely on the sea to eat the sea, or people who have lost their youth, everyone is running towards the center of the central part. Hokkaido can be regarded as a low desire area, and people's negative emotions are far inferior to other places in Japan in terms of concentration and intensity. This is also the fundamental reason why Suso doesn't make a fuss here. Hokkaido, Sapporo City. Lin Feng and Zenon Maki came here by private helicopter. Hokkaido has a special geographical location. If you use the Shinkansen train, it will take at least 1 day and 1 night from Tokyo to Hokkaido. Now is a special period, but there is no time to delay on the way. The helicopter was provided by Zenon's family, and it took only a few hours to take off from Tokyo and land in Sapporo, Hokkaido. When you first come to Hokkaido, the first feeling is cold. Even in sunny weather, the temperature in the air makes people have to wear thick winter clothes. Mr. Lin Feng, the feeling here seems to be different from Tokyo. Walking on the streets of Sapporo, feeling the style of Hokkaido, Zenon Maki feels a little unreal. Tokyo is already a magical place, and there will be cursed spirit jumping out to do evil. It is not the organizational confrontation between the top executives of Jujutsu and the big three sorcerer families to stabilize the situation. Tokyo has become a nest of cursed spirit. And Hokkaido is another scene, the tranquility that I didn't expect before coming here. Hokkaido is a vast land with few people, so the cursed spirit here has a characteristic, that is, it is of high quality. Either you don't come out, or it will be very difficult to deal with when you come out. In the memory of the original owner of this body, some of the memory fragments are about the extermination mission in Hokkaido. Vicious cursed spirit incidents rarely occur in Hokkaido. Cursed spirits, grade 2 to 4 miscellaneous fish, appear less frequently than other places in Japan. Normally, there are no such incidents. With Hokkaido's own defense force, it can be eliminated. There are not many cursed spirits of 2nd to 4th grades, and even rarer ones above 1st grade, which are basically recorded by year. In the memory of the original owner, the last time I came to Hokkaido was 4 years ago, and pulled out a first-class snow ape cursed spirit. Zenon Maki looked at Lin Feng and said, "Mr. Lin Feng, where should we go now? Is Zenon's family going to Sapporo?" As the big three sorcerer families that have existed for thousands of years, the Zenon family has branches in other parts of Japan besides Osaka. "Don't go there. Let's go straight up the mountain," Lin Feng said. "There is no particularly powerful cursed spirit in Sapporo, so let's look for the naturally born cursed spirit." When Lin Feng and Zenon Maki set off for Hokkaido, others also went to various borders of Japan in groups according to the division of labor, officially entering the death tour. Except for Kugisaki Nobara and Ieri Shoko, everyone has entered the barrier for a long time. Regarding the death tour, during the preparation stage of several days, Lin Feng and Yae Masamichi discussed several times, and finally decided on a series of execution plans. The first step in implementing the plan is to abandon the acquisition and transmission of information. All people who enter the enchantment will first obtain a certain amount of points, let the managers increase the rules, give priority to keeping Sumiji, and then add some protection for innocent people. Rule. The second step is to stay in the base camp. When the death tour is going on, Tokyo will not be peaceful. Sumiki stays in the basement alone, and safety cannot be guaranteed. In order to ensure safety, Kugisaki Nobara and Ieri are finally decided. Shoko stayed in the basement base camp. One was in charge of safety, and the other was in charge of timely remediation in case of emergencies of Sumiji. The third step is the allocation of personnel to participate in the death tour. Those who act alone include Akatsu Yuda, Yae Masamichi, Itadori Yuji, and Fushiguro Megumi, and the team members are Panda, Inumaki Toge, Lin Feng, and Zenon Maki. Among them, Lin Feng and Zenon Maki explored the Hokkaido area where there is no enchantment. After all Japan except Hokkaido has enchantments, but Hokkaido does not. Above the snow peak, there is a world of ice and snow. Lin Feng and Zenon Maki came here like ordinary tourists. Standing on top of the snow peak, you can have a sweeping view of the snow-covered scenery at the foot of the mountain. Mr. Lin Feng, the tour guide, said that the time is up. If we don't stay here to experience other projects, we will go down the mountain. Zenon Maki came to Lin Feng and said. Yes. Neither Lin Feng nor Zenon Maki had any idea about Hokkaido, so Shang Shifeng registered for a tour group temporarily and came up with the guide. Lin Feng withdrew his thoughts and glanced at the top of Shifeng Peak. Apart from the howling chill of ice and snow, there was also a seemingly invisible mantra residuals on the top of the peak. Let's inform the tour guide, we will not go down the mountain. Okay. The tourism development on the top of Shifeng is very good. In addition to climbing the mountain to enjoy the natural scenery, there are supporting projects and facilities in the surrounding area for play and experience, such as restaurants, homestays, zooting hot springs and so on. Lin Feng and Zenon Maki compared Hokkaido to explore the secrets of returning to the dead fire, but more like they came to Hokkaido for sightseeing. After staying in Shifeng, the two found a hot spring hotel to stay. Mr. Lin Feng, is there anything unusual on this Zhaofeng? During the meal, Zenon Maki still asked. After all, she knew that teacher Lin Feng would never stay if there was no special reason. There should be some secret in it. In fact, it's no wonder that Zenon Maki couldn't feel it, because of Lin Feng's intervention. Zenon's fan didn't he hurt Maki and Mai? Zenon Maki's path to becoming a heaven and tyrant didn't he come? And now Maki is still the positive and optimistic Maki. There is a trace of mantra residuals on the top of the snow peak, and there is curse on it, and it is not an ordinary curse. Lin Feng explained casually. I'm not sure if it has any connection with Luo Suo and Dead Fire Weiyu, but you can't leave it alone. Zenon Maki nodded and agreed with Lin Feng's words. Although the group of people in name are now curse users who betrayed the Jujutsu world, the nature of Jujutsu masters and curse users is not that group of old antiques who sit firmly on the Diaoyutai and open their mouths can decide. Mr. Lin Feng, I'm going to soak in the hot spring first. Zenon Maki stood up after saying that. Maki, I'll come to my room after you're done soaking, Lin Feng said abruptly. Zenon Maki's shoulders trembled slightly, and his back turned to Lin Feng. A blush quickly flew on his cheeks. I know. Lin Feng didn't know Zenon Maki's shyness, and he didn't know what aspect she associated with it. He simply wanted to give Zenon Maki a try of the power of the curse seal. After the curse snake swallowed Zenon Naoya, it has been completely decomposed for so many days, and its spell and spell power have been peeled off, and it has been manufactured into the form of a curse seal. Forget it. I'll go soak for a while first. Lin Feng went to the men's soup and soaked it comfortably. The hot springs of the homestays on Shifeng are not as good as those in the city. There are only a handful of people who come here. Today is even more lucky, and I experienced the feeling of booking a place. While soaking, Lin Feng only felt a bit itchy in his mouth, and the canine teeth on both sides became sharp, like the fangs of a snake. Cursed snake. The cursed snake appeared from the black vortex and coiled on the shore. The snake's head raised and spit out snake letters. The cursed snake could not speak, but its mind was connected with Lin Feng. After some research, Lin Feng finally figured it out. The spell seal created by the cursed snake is rich in the ability of Zenon Naoya's spells, but it cannot be directly implanted into Zenon Maki. A medium is needed in the middle, and the medium is implanted through Lin Feng. After the implant is complete, the fangs will disappear. This seems a bit. After Lin Feng came to his senses, he didn't know what kind of expression he would show. The curse snake couldn't directly implant the curse seal into Zenon Maki, and Lin Feng needed to be the medium to implant it in a transitional manner. It's not that he doesn't want to, the main reason is that the act of implanting the curse mark is too ambiguous. In the world of Naruto, the snake pill implanted with the curse seal is to bite the neck. The action of biting the neck in the animal world means killing and controlling, but in humans, it is given an ambiguous color. What is this called? Lin Feng became distressed. If the matter of the curse seal was overturned, then Zenon Maki's strength could only stop at the same place. It was too cruel and too dangerous to put her like this in the death tour. If you don't turn the page, Lin Feng will bite Zenon Maki's neck. She is a flowery girl who is in her youth. This behavior is equivalent to induction. Either way, it's extremely difficult to choose. Forget it. Let's ask Maki first. Lin Feng chose to be honest. Inside the room. After soaking in the hot spring, Lin Feng and Zenon Maki were both wearing loose robes and sitting in the room. Lin Feng drank 3 cups of tea in a row before he opened his mouth and said, Maki, I have a magic spell and spell power for you. Method. This is a partial method that does not belong to the category of big 3 sorcerer families or jujutsu, and it has certain risks. Do you want to try it? Mr. Lin Feng, you said you have spells and spell power? Zenon Maki said. I am a heavenly restriction body, and I was born without spells and spell power. Is there any way to restore it? It would be a lie to say that I don't want to. In Zenon Maki's life so far, she has an incomparably deep understanding of the importance of spells and spell power. Without these 2 things, Zenon's family is not even considered a human being. Not recognized, not respected, not even allowed to exist. She and Maki have a family and can't go back, even to the point where Zenon's last name can't be mentioned. No one desires spells and spells more than she does. According to Zenon Maki, there is no cure for heavenly restriction in the Jujutsu world so far. If someone tells her that there is a way for her to have spells and mantras, Zenon Maki will only think that person has a brain problem. But this is what Lin Feng said. Zenon Maki's beautiful eyes looked at Lin Feng's deep eyes, and she believed in teacher Lin Feng. Mr. Lin Feng, is it really possible? Lin Feng felt the trust of Zenon Maki, with a warm smile on his face, and said softly, it's worth a try. Understood. Zenon Maki took a deep breath, I will cooperate well. Very good. Lin Feng considered his words, Maki, some intimate moves may be needed next. A move of intimacy? Zine and Maki hesitated and said, "Yes. Is it a hug?" "It's bigger than a hug." "Ah," Zine and Maki uttered, and the whole person was in a daze. It was bigger than a hug. Didn't he just go to the restricted area to explore? The relationship between men and women is divided into 3 levels. The term in baseball is base division. Hit, first, double, home run. Hitting base means confirming a love relationship. First base means holding hands. Second base means hugging and intimacy. Home run means kissing and inappropriate moments in one step. Larger scale than second base. Zine and Maki lowered his head shyly and stopped talking. Lin Feng saw the clue and explained dumbfoundingly. "Maki, it's not as far as the 18th ban." "Ah. Oh." Zine and Maki looked up, then. "How exactly do you want to do it?" "Maybe I need a kiss," Lin Feng said. Zine and Maki started a strong ideological struggle. "Teacher Lin Feng, let's start." "Maki, it will be fine soon." Lin Feng walked up to Zine and Maki. In order not to let the embarrassing atmosphere last too long, he decided to make a quick decision. A moment later, the power of the spell was implanted into Zine and Maki's body through himself. The curse mark pattern of 3 commas was left on the bite marks on the neck. Zine and Maki only felt that his body became strange and felt abnormally cold. "Mr. Lin Feng, I'm a little cold." "Don't worry. It's the feeling created in your body by the spell and spell power, bear with it." Lin Feng sent Zine and Maki back to the next room and covered him with a quilt before returning to his own room. The next thing to do is to wait. The time came to night. When Lin Feng was going to check the situation next door, the door of the room was pushed open first, and Zine and Maki walked in with a strange expression on his face. "Maki, is there anything abnormal about your body?" "Without." Zine and Maki shook his head. "I'm much better now, and I can feel the power of spells and spells." After the words fell, Zine and Maki made a demonstration. At the beginning of the curse seal state, a black pattern began to extend from the curse seal pattern on the neck, and the moment the state was turned on, Zine and Maki's spell power breath surged out. With a random shot, the vases in the room were directly framed into a picture. The picture was broken, and the vase returned to its original position, as if nothing had happened. "Isn't that good? What about your expression?" Lin Feng watched Zine and Maki's demonstration, and was also surprised by the impressive performance of the power of the spell seal. Could it be that there is something unspeakable? "Ahem, I'm fine. I just came to ask, Teacher Lin Feng, should we go to see the mantra residuals on the peak?" Zine and Maki didn't dare to say that she was out of shyness. Compared to the magic of the curse mark, she was more fond of the kiss and bite just now. Into the night. Lin Feng and Zine and Maki tidied themselves up briefly. Wearing thick down jackets, they left the hot spring hotel in the dark and headed to a higher place on the snow peak. Hokkaido is very cold. In normal seasons, the temperature is generally lower than other places in Japan, especially now. It is the month before winter, and it is still above the snow peak. The temperature is so low that people doubt life. Fortunately, both Lin Feng's and Zine and Maki's physical fitness is different from ordinary people, otherwise they really couldn't climb high in the wind and snow at night. The night wind whistled, and when it whistled, it was mixed with cold wind and snow. Lin Feng and Zine and Maki quickly walked out of the tourist area and moved faster and faster towards the forbidden area. The tourism development area of Shifeng is only a little bit halfway up the mountain, and further up is the prohibited no-entry area. After a while, Lin Feng and Zine and Maki stopped in front of the protective network barrier. A continuous piece of protective net blocked the props, and there was a striking sign of no entry next to it. Fortunately, such a protective barrier was useless to the two of them, and they easily crossed the barrier of the protective net and continued to climb towards the peak. Into the night. Lin Feng and Zine and Maki tidied themselves up briefly. Wearing thick down jackets, they left the hot spring hotel in the dark and headed to a higher place on the snow peak. Hokkaido is very cold. In normal seasons, the temperature is generally lower than other places in Japan, especially now. It is the month before winter, and it is still above the snow peak. The temperature is so low that people doubt life. Fortunately, both Lin Feng's and Zine and Maki's physical fitness is different from ordinary people, otherwise they really couldn't climb high in the wind and snow at night. The night wind whistled, and when it whistled, it was mixed with a cold wind. Lin Feng and Zine and Maki quickly walked out of the tourist area and moved faster and faster towards the forbidden area. The tourism development area of Shifeng is only a little bit halfway up the mountain, and further up is the prohibited no-entry area. After a while, Lin Feng and Zine and Maki stopped in front of the protective network barrier. A continuous piece of protective net blocked the props, and there was a striking sign of no entry next to it. Fortunately, such a protective barrier was useless to the two of them, and they easily crossed the barrier of the protective net and continued to climb towards the peak. Compared with the halfway up the mountain, the snow on the peak area is thicker, and the cedars are taller and taller. Maki, do you want to take a break? Lin Feng slowed down, looked at Xin and Maki behind him panting frequently, and asked with concern. After all, the higher the place, the less oxygen content, which is also a burden on the human body. Mr. Lin Feng, I'm fine, let's move on. Xin and Maki said that he can overcome it, and he didn't come here to travel. How can he be so hypocritical? The two walked for a while. Not far from the peak, the slope gradually flattened a little, and the journey was not so tiring, but what followed was a new situation. Mr. Lin Feng, there are strange footprints here. Xin and Maki's voice sounded from the side. Lin Feng walked up to him and saw half of the footprints in the snow. Half of the footprints had been covered by wind and snow, and the remaining half could clearly see the knuckles. This footprint is left by a primate creature, and its size has surpassed the scope of ordinary creatures. Lin Feng looked at a thin line of mantra around him. Residuals was fleeting. It's Curse's footprint. Lin Feng immediately judged. There is a powerful cursed spirit on the top of Shifeng. The two searched around for a while, and there was a sign of scarlet blood, and the blood had been coagulated into a block, like a ruby. Human blood. Human blood? Xin and Maki asked in surprise. Mr. Lin Feng, why is there human blood on the top of such a high snow-capped mountain? No one will come up, right? Lin Feng smiled and said, Maki, the world is so big, there are so many wonders, the forest is so big, there are all kinds of birds, there are always some people who like to seek excitement, and they will come to such a dangerous situation regardless of persuasion, not because of curse, but also lost their lives for other reasons. Is it similar to the speeding party on the street? It can also be understood in this way. The episode passed quickly. Lin Feng didn't have the time to investigate the identity of the deceased, and there were more important things waiting to be done. Mr. Lin Feng, we seem to have broken into the birthplace of curse. Possessing spells and mantras, Xin and Maki's insight has also become more acute. The two searched the peak area, and then entered a cedar forest. She found something was wrong. At first glance, this cedar forest is not much different from ordinary cedar forests, but if you look closely, you can still find many clues. First of all, the density is wrong. The cedar forests that the two of them passed through from the mountainside were all tall and slender trees with clearly separated distribution. However, in this forest, the cedar trees are low and their density is exactly the same as that of ordinary forests. The second is the sudden change of the environment. The hungry wind and snow stopped at night, which is really weird. It's more appropriate to say it's breaking in, rather than finding it as you wish, Lin Feng said flatly. Xin and Maki can perceive the difference, and he is naturally aware of it. Just as Xin and Maki was about to say something, without warning, a huge snowball crushed the cedar tree and rolled towards the two of them. Boom. 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 Behind the huge snowball, a huge figure appeared in the field of vision. It was a snow-ape cursed spirit with a height of more than 10 meters. When the snow-ape cursed spirit walked over, the entire life field trembled. Teacher Lin Feng, please leave it to me. Xin and Maki took the initiative to ask for a fight, and the cursed tool keel wrapped around his arm flashed out and fell into his hand. After being filled with mana, the joints slowly moved. Tart. Xin and Maki held the keel in a whip gesture. The originally stiff keel softened in an instant, drawing a semicircular arc, and the arc flashed sharp means to cut across the huge snowball. Before the snowball touched the corner of the clothes, it was shattered by a whip, and then the soft keel hardened again, turning into a sword shape. It is indeed a special grade cursed tool, which can transform one's own state through the form of mana infusion. Master Jujutsu. Die. The snow ape, cursed spirit, came rushing forward and smashed down the earth-shattering punch. Lin Feng and Xin and Maki dodged the punch with a flash. The field of birth is not a complete field, and it can only be regarded as a half-field in a strict sense. Even the probability of the field's sure hit effect has been weakened. Xin and Maki's figure is like a shadow and he quickly approaches the snow ape cursed spirit. Within 1 second, 24 consecutive clicks were made dynamically at 24 FPS, and frame extraction was performed. The snow monkey's fist about to smash was photographed. Click. The figure of snow ape Zhang Ling who burst into pieces in the picture also took a few steps back after being restrained. Theoretically, the spell can turn the opponent into a freeze frame picture, but it is based on opponents of the same size. Like cursed spirit, the body size and mana storage are far beyond the scope of the human body, so naturally it cannot be shot as a whole. Picture. Zenon Maki's strategy is to attack with parts. Attack at a frame rate of 24 FPS for 1 year, and then copy the actions of Snow Ape Cursed Spirit. As long as any attack within the 24 FPS time rhythm, it will definitely be a picture. In this way, Zenon Maki began to show operations. Every time when the Snow Ape Cursed Spirit's attack is about to fall, it will be framed as a picture freeze action, and then be beaten violently by Zenon Maki holding a keel. Damn. Damn Jujutsu Master. Snow Ape Cursed Spirit was furious. However, it is useless. The ability of Zenon Maki is a natural countermeasure to such a cursed spirit. Even a fast cursed spirit will not benefit, and a slow speed will be a blow to dimensionality reduction. The old god Lin Feng was watching the battle from the sidelines. Zenon Maki's combat awareness and physical skills are even better than Itadori Yuji. This is a skill that has been acquired through more than 10 years of hard work, and now he can finally play to the maximum. It works. About 10 minutes later, the Snow Ape Cursed Spirit's movements became more and more sluggish. There was no other reason. The attack all missed, and then was hit by the keel at a fixed point. Boom. With a loud sound of falling objects, the Snow Ape Cursed Spirit fell headlong into the snow. The next moment, the birth domain began to dissipate, and the surrounding cedar forests were replaced by a piece of silver. Maki, good job. Lin Feng praised. Thank you, teacher Lin Feng. Zenon Maki is also very satisfied with her victory. Once upon a time, she never thought that she could deal with this level of cursed spirit. If the former self encountered this level of cursed spirit, her life-saving ability would not even be as good as a half-baked one. Itadori Yuji. But now, she can easily kill with joy. All this is thanks to teacher Lin Feng. Sugisawa Hospital. Itadori Yuji went back to the original point, vaguely remembering that a few months ago, he met his grandfather here for the last time, and was approached by Fushiguro Megumi on the night of finishing his funeral affairs. As a result, I entered the Jujutsu world by mistake. I really miss it. Itadori Yuji murmured to himself. He remembered his grandfather's teaching at the end of his life, to die surrounded by everyone. In fact, death is not the key point, but the point is to make his limited life more meaningful. This time around the Death and Death Tour, everyone chose a place's enchantment as the entry point, and Itadori Yuji chose his hometown. Yo, is this Itadori Yuji? Suddenly, a surprised voice sounded from behind. You are. Itadori Yuji thought he had met an acquaintance, but when he turned around, he found that there were 3 unfamiliar faces, sizing him up as if they were sizing up prey. We are the swimmers of the Dead Flame Return, and we have obtained spells and spell power, representing the non-magician forces in the Dead Fire Return. Non-artist forces? Itadori Yuji said in a daze. That's right. The non-sorcerer force is a force formed by ordinary people who acquired spells and mantras. We have only one goal, and that is to hunt and kill Jujutsu masters. Hunting the Jujutsu division? Wait, why are you doing that? Then do you still have to ask? It's all because of your incompetence that caused so many people to die in the Shibuya incident. The related impact has spread across the country, causing everyone to lose their jobs and panic. In the end, you can treat yourself as if nothing happened, in front of Jujutsu division hero. We have to pay for the incompetence of your Jujutsu masters. Why? Itadori Yuji was speechless. He never expected that the opening method of Death and Death Tour would be like this. It seems that things are much more serious than expected.